Time. Another week, ZTGD Radio. This is episode 733, February 13th, 2023. And on the show this week, we got Anthony.
I'm here this week.
You are here this week. And we have Terrence.
I'm here too.
Welcome to the show.
How you doing, everybody?
And that's it, because the rest of these motherfuckers ain't showing up. I swear.
Well, you know. It's a big day today.
It's what's funny because they say it's because of the Super Bowl, and I'm
game.
the one that watches the fucking football.
You are, yeah. But see, but like the Super Bowl is like the last or one of like the last big like cultural like event things, right? Like everybody's gonna be talking about something that happens at the Super Bowl tonight, whether it's the Rihanna concert, whether it's the commercials, whether it's the actual game. But like it's a big deal, so everybody shows up for that. They just don't watch the regular football.
I've had zero interest in the Super Bowl ever.
I mean, if you don't watch football,
halftime shows, I don't care about football. I don't care about the commercials.
Not even the Prince one. Not even the Prince one.
That was a good halftime show.
Yeah, but Prince was going to be good no matter where the fuck he played.
I mean, that's fair, but that is like an iconic performance, though.
And as of I don't know when they went like full, hey, you have to play pre-recorded shit. I kind of lost interest there too.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Is it pre-recorded? Yeah, I didn't know that. Is it pre-recorded?
Watch the Red Hot Chili Peppers. They basically admitted to of course, like it's basically just a music video.
Like I said, ever since the Janet Jackson titty incident, we go.
Yeah. Yeah, Janet Jackson done messed it up for everybody.
Janet Jackson? It's not Justin Timberlake.
I know who did it, but it wasn't Justin's titty. I'm just saying
it wasn't
Justin's titty, but she didn't rip the thing off. Justin
did.
No,
but it was that was the conversation.
It was all set up anyways.
Yeah,
I feel like how dare they have the outrage with her and not him?
Right,
he's performed.
He took his. He has he since then.
He performed on the. Yes, he had his own solo one.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
he was invited back. She wasn't.
Should have made a cameo. Just saying.
The titty should have.
Anyway,
okay. Let's talk
about video games.
Not titties and sports.
Oh shit! All right, Anthony, let's kick it off with you. What's going on?
I didn't play shit, but in terms of like games, but I did play some demos from Steam Next Fest. I'm gonna run down the
good.
I did too.
The ones
see if you played some of the same stuff.
So I played. These are just kind of in the order that I wrote them down. So I played I played a demo. All these are demos. Cynthia Hidden in the Moon Shadow. Boy, it really does feel like someone. So I don't know if. Hold on, let me see. This is their first game. The studio, Kathia Games. It's indie Breath of the Wild. So, expect a lower budget. The graphics aren't bad. The voice acting's fine. But it's got, a smaller dev team quirks to it. It wasn't terrible. I just was like, yeah, this ain't for me. Gripper. Gripper is fucking cool. It is, so the whole game you're on a motorcycle. And it reminds me of, oh god, what was that sword fighting game? That was like bright neon colors. That had the guy from. It was made by the Game Bakers.
Is that
nothing?
Was it Fury? No, that's not
Fury. Yes, Fury.
Oh,
yeah.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. So this is not the same team. I actually looked up. I'm like, I wonder if this is what they're doing next because it feels very similar. The core of the gameplay is different, but like you do a quick run down a tube, like level, like, think the old Sonic special stages in this motorcycle. And then you do these arena battles against bosses while you're on the motorcycle. So the whole idea is that you are like kind of constantly moving. It's got a neat art style. It got a really good soundtrack. It's got a weird sort of story going on. I was really impressed with it, and I kind of can't wait to see more. I tried to play the Repo Man demo, but it just wouldn't load for some reason. So it is what it is. But anything that has like futuristic, cyberpunk Repo Men, I'm kind of interested in. Apparently, that's coming to consoles too. All right, Dad by the Sword. Now, what I was expecting was a first-person sort of boomer shooter, but instead of guns, you're using swords and cutting off limbs. What I got was a janky mess. I tried to like that, but it was not good. The concept's kind of funny, but like it isn't funny enough immediately. Like the concept's funny, there's no funny in the game, and then I was just like, yeah, no, this controls poorly. I'm done with this. Who here likes Mega Man?
I'll raise my hand.
I like Mega Man Legends.
No, you get
no.
to
This is
out.
not. No. This is. I'm talking like OG Mega Man, Mega Man X.
No, I'm just.
Ken, I need you to look
kid.
up a game right now.
Okay,
called
let me
Gravity Circuit.
My browsers.
Yeah, multiple. Jesus.
Yes, I do. I have the Opera Gamer browser because I'm a gamer.
Oh wow. Okay. Wow.
I have Opera installed. I use
never
it
even
to
used
access
that.
different emails, but
That looks like some Mega Man ass Mega Man. That dude
it
even got
fucking
the.
plays. It plays amazing. The intro sequences to levels are like straight up Mega Man. They're all called so like instead of like Guts Man, it's like instead of them all ending with man, they all end with circuit. So all the characters are something circuit.
Oh man, they should
It's
totally have
Guts.
made a character called Man Circuit.
Oh,
They might
yes.
have. I don't know.
They should.
But it is fucking amazing. The animation and the pixel artwork is stellar. And the music, holy shit, it feels like honestly, if you told me this was made by people that make Mega Man, I would go, okay, yeah, that makes sense. It's fucking brilliant.
Nice.
It's definitely the best game I played, demos wise. Like, I just am stunned that I had not heard about this until next fest, and I will be buying it. Like, that's how much I.
It's coming to every platform except guess which one?
Xbox.
Oh god, probably PlayStation.
No,
PlayStation
Xbox.
Is known to. Of course, it's Xbox.
Like, I'll be buying the soundtrack. That's how good the soundtrack was too. Like that, I fucking was like, damn.
When's this out? I'm trying to find a release
It's saying
date.
Q2 2023, so it's out this year. Within after April at some point.
I will be purchasing this on my PlayStation 5 since they don't like Xbox.
But he does. Poor Xbox.
So yeah, that's definitely the standout for me. I tried a game called Gone Rogue. It is a.
I thought you were gonna say gonorrhea, and I was like, "What happened?"
I had a rough weekend, guys.
It is a stealth action game / tactical RPG where you just kind of click where the character goes. It's played almost like an RTS, but you control only one character. I see what they're going for, and I don't hate it. Like, it's just one of those, this is not for me. You're peeking in windows, you're breaking open doors, you're breaking into things, you're distracting guards, but it's all done with just the mouse, essentially. And it's not how I like to play stealth games, but I definitely see that this could have a cult audience. I was just kind of disappointed because I was hoping for more like a Metal Gear Solid, I guess. Because if you look at it, it kind of has a Metal Gear Solid look to it. The way like all the enemies have like vision cones and the stuff that you can kind of do, and everything. But yeah, Radio the Universe is a very weird sort of Zelda clone, but you take one hit and die.
Oh no.
artistically really cool. Like I really like the style of the game. But yeah, I couldn't get through the first section, and I was just like, you know what, this might be a game I watch, not a game I play. Um, yeah, kind of disappointed there, but that's not that again. That's just one where it's like, all right, we're done with that. I booted up a demo for a game called Paranoid, which is apparently an exploration first-person horror game. It starts with your character vomiting in a toilet. I do a lot of like, let's see if I can get this to run a little bit more smooth. But any game, any first-person game that when you turn automatically has motion blur, I kind of start checking out. I hate to say that, but like, I'm like, yeah, no, a horror game with motion blur is just not where I'm at. Like, it feels like other things I've played, and it gives me a feeling of like, how do I put this? Of cheapness, even if it's not the case. Like, motion blur feels cheap to me. And then I don't know. Yeah, this one was also in the Steam Next Fest. Grim Guardians Demon Purge.
Oh yeah,
So
I know that game.
So-
I'm playing it right now for review.
yeah, so I can talk about it because I'm not. Didn't realize when I downloaded it that it was Inti Creates.
Mm-hmm.
Makes a lot of sense. It is a old school sort of Castlevania game. You switch between two sisters. One of them's got guns, and the other one's got melee weapon of some sort. I don't remember if it's. I'm like trying to. It's a scythe. I can't really tell. She
It's
swings
kind
it
of like
pretty
a
quick.
scythe. She swings it like a scythe.
Yeah. I'm not. I don't think like it's really good. It's Inti Creates. It better be. This is kind of what they do. Yeah, it's a pretty neat. I wasn't sure if it was going to be a Metroidvania. It isn't really. Like on the Steam page it says Metroidvania, which boy, looking through the demos, Metroidvania, roguelike, Souls-like. Jesus Christ.
There you go. Those are
And then-
games now.
And it's funny because right now the other thing I was starting to see was games that are clearly inspired by Vampire Survivor.
Oh, that's gonna be the next. Yeah, that's the next revolution.
Except that, like, I hate to say this, but like Vampire Survivors doesn't sell itself via screenshots.
No.
So, looking at these screenshots of these games, I'm like, guys, like, you're good luck. I don't think this is gonna work out as well as you hope it's going to, because like it really is like Vampire Survivors had just word of mouth with all the weird shit that happens, and it was different from other things. When it's not different from other things, it's when it's like Vampire Survivors, it better be so much fucking weirder and obtuse and but yeah, like, so that's the end of the list for me. I wanted to play more. I had more demos downloaded, but I ran out of time. Like, if there's anything to take away, Gravity Circuit is something that I'm now actively looking forward to. Now I try to I leave Next Fest generally with like a couple of games that are on my wish list. But like not usually ones where I'm like instantly ready to buy the game if it was done now. Not the last Next Fest, the one before it when I played like 30 plus games demos. The only other game I can think of that comes to mind is She Dreams Elsewhere, which is still not out. So, fortunately, so yeah, that's it for me. Other than like Overwatch. Oh, you know what? I started playing the original BioShock.
Huh.
Again.
A
For the
reason.
first time, or
So I played it with my dad. It's my first time going through it alone. My dad just had more interest in it. It's funny because that's actually the game that made me buy an Xbox, and then I never bought it for Xbox. I bought it for PS3. But I saw it and was like, oh my god, games can look like this. And yeah, I'm just going through. It's funny how like far we've come with game design Like, that game would have an inventory system nowadays.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
Like, I guess we'll find out when Judas comes out by 2025.
Yeah. Well, and
Yeah.
they're making another BioShock. I didn't know that. 2K is.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a reboot or
I don't
BioShock 3.
know where
but
that is now at
4.
this point, because they've had that website up for a while, and then there was supposedly a company working on it, and then I have not heard anything since that. So
Whatever happened to the PSP version?
I thought it was a Vita version.
It doesn't matter. They're both fake. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, that was a canceled game. That was announced at E3 2011, and then disappeared. But I think that may have turned into the iOS game.
It don't matter.
BioShock is on iOS. Wow. I didn't
Yeah,
know
it was
that.
a different. It was very different.
Sure.
Like it's very odd. It plays almost like a It's all there, but it plays almost like a Doom.
Nice.
I would say, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's so much rougher looking that it looks like the old. I think they may have even had one that was for. There was a bunch of that shit. There was a bunch of weird fucking ports of games like Prey, the original Prey, had like a port to mobile phones. It's a different game completely.
Ports 4. Like, who are they? They sit down like, I'm going to port this over to the Nokia N-Gage.
Well, when
Hell yeah.
phones came out, I think Prey made it to iOS, Android, and Zeebo, which is
What the heck is Zeebo?
A Brazilian company that made they made a console that was based off of Qualcomm chips. Qualcomm had, what was it called? Brew. Brew was their operating engine. So think Java phones. Like, think like higher end Java games that could do 3D, and that was Brew. And there's a big video on it from Stop Skeletons on Fighting, which like breaks down the history of the fucking Zeebo and how big of a failure it is. But yeah, they did that a lot because I think everybody thought phones were going to be the future because they could do all this stuff, but then realized like no one really wants to play games on their fucking phone like that. Like Resident Evil 4 has a specific like version on iOS. There was Devil May Cry 4, I think, had an iOS version. Now, when you see iOS versions, they're usually like a straight port to phones, but at the time it was like it's a different version altogether.
They were
and
just
those
trying
are
to
just
get some money. Yeah.
lost. Well, you know what? Like a lot of them were not half bad, but they were just very weird, and they felt like a generation behind because they were running on lower hardware. So I know BioShock has either one or two of those that are very odd. Maybe it was not the iOS version I was thinking of that was much rougher. Maybe it was like a Brew version or something like that. But anyways, I've gone on long enough. I'm playing BioShock because I wanted to play a first-person shooter, and I was like, you know what? I really want to play BioShock 2, but if I don't play BioShock 1 first again, I'm not going to get through it because I know that's the roughest one to go back to.
Yeah, BioShock 2 is rough to go back to, not because of its design, but because of its pacing. There's some parts of that game. There's some parts of that game that are just not great. It's rough, and it's weird because, like, that's the one in the middle that was not made by the same team.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
I don't know. That was always weird to me. Like, why did you pass it off only to let him go back for the third one?
Well, that's because, they were making the third one, and they needed another one in between, is what I thought what happened.
That just seems stupid. Just wait. I don't know.
You say that, but, like, would the interest in BioShock Infinite been there? Like, I get the reason why. It's same with, like, Call of Duty, right? Like, they want to keep Call of Duty in the zeitgeist, so they just keep handing it to different studios, but inevitably you're going to get bad entries. I've heard the DLC for 2 is amazing though. So
Well, yeah, it's because it's written by the same. It was done by the same team that did Edith Finch.
oh, is it really?
Yeah, that's why that's why when Edith Finch came out, everybody was like, "Oh, this is from the guys that did the BioShock DLC that was really good."
Shit, I didn't know that.
Yep. So
Okay.
yeah, there's pedigree there. All right. Well, if that's it, I'll move on to Terrence.
Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing that he did because I played a bunch of Steam. I'm sorry, I'm congested. I played a bunch of Steam demos as well, so I'm just going to shotgun these real quick. The first one I messed with was Die by the Blade, which we've talked about this game before. It's the one that I think they showed it at the Game Awards or one of the game shows we were watching. It's like Bushido Blade, but in the future. So like Neo Tokyo type of vibe. It's hard. God, it's hard. Just like Bushido Blade. 2 strikes can kill you. It's the control is weird. It controls like For Honor, in that you use you move with the left stick, and it's not like the perspective is not For Honor. It's a normal fighting game perspective. But it's a 3D arena, so think like Tekken. But you control like your attacks with the right stick. So you have different, quadrants, up, down, left, right. That's how you block and stuff, and that's how you swing. So, you're coming from the left side, and then obviously they can counter that. Watching people play it, because I've looked at some of the streamers that was playing it, if they're really good, is epic watching them fights. Watching me play it is just watching a nigga get his head cut off real quick. So I'm not good. It has promise. Like I'm definitely interested, but I probably wouldn't get it on PC. Like I'm gonna wait for a console release. But I liked Bushido Blade back in the day, even though it was super hard.
I couldn't help but laugh when you said Tekken, and I got a flashback to the Game Awards where they called it Tekken.
Oh yeah,
Michelle Rodriguez like, yeah, we used to play Tekken together. I was like, what?
You played Tekken? Are you sure?
What's Tekken? Balake, you've been playing Tekken?
All I can think of is the way that, now that you've said that, I've spiraled into the Chris Pratt talking about how he used to play Mario Brothers, Stomp and Koopas. Stop trying to sell this shit. Just fucking say, I like money.
I like money, and Nintendo got the money.
Exactly. Like I get they trying to, we used to play Tekken. No, you didn't. You could. Why you didn't just say a name of a game that you could pronounce, something simple? Like we used to play Pac-Man.
Like who told you that? Did nobody pronounce it to you when they gave you the script? I used to play Tekken.
Right. Like who?
Also, maybe. No, I can't. As I say, maybe they didn't. But then it's like I still don't think I'd get to Tekken from.
No, who gets
the way
Tekken from that?
Yeah, because like it looks like it breaks in the center between consonants, but I don't know.
Oh,
Maybe it's a fuck. God damn it! I was gonna quote steamed hams, and then I fucking dropped the ball. Never mind.
I mean, all you gotta do is work in a video game store, and you get some of the best pronunciations of video games. We used to joke about Tomb Raider.
Oh man, yeah.
Tomb Raider, Residential Evil was one of my favorites. I love
the
those
parents
things.
that come in there that don't know anything, and they're like, the game that has the guy that shoots stuff. Ma'am, I have 475 games with guys that shoot stuff. I'm gonna need more information.
He's a white guy. You've narrowed it down by one fucking game. That's
right.
You only need a little bit more.
He's got a crew cut. That doesn't fucking do anything.
No.
Yeah.
It's brownish colored. Oh no. You're not helping.
Man. Good times. Okay, so another demo, which is also a fighting game I played, which is done by Modius, called God of Rock. This is interesting. So think, Hi-Fi Rush just came out with the action game with the beat kind of mechanic. This is a fighting game that has that. So you're these two epic forces and being judged by the God of Rock. And as the music plays, the beats will fly through at the bottom. And if you the closer you are to hitting it on time, the more damage that the God of Rock will give you to your opponent. There's also special moves that you can pull off with the thumbstick. So you do like up, down, left, right trigger, and they'll do different attacks and stuff. Like they'll tell you what the special attacks are. Visually, it's like awesome. I mean, you have these two larger than life like gods basically, punching and throwing spells at each other and stuff. But the problem for me is that I feel like it would be a game that would be better to watch somebody play than to play, because your focus when you're playing it is on the music notes, right? That you got to hit, because that's how you're attacking. So I didn't see any of the cool stuff that my god was pulling off on the other guy, because I'm like, I saw it on my peripheral, but like I'm focused on the notes at the bottom. So I don't know. That's just a nitpicky thing.
I'd be curious to know how long that lasts when it comes out, because they're the Override people as well.
Which one's Override? I don't know. Was that
exactly?
Oh, okay, I got it.
Override was a really neat idea of where it was kind of like the first one, anyways. Like, what if we did War of the Monsters with mechs? And I'm like, okay, cool. And there was like some growing pains, but I'm like, okay, a sequel fixes. Well, sequel, they changed a lot to the point where I'd say it's not as good.
That's the one with the Ultraman crossover that was DLC, yeah.
And like, there was nobody playing that.
Yeah. Oh wait,
I waited.
Oh my god, I bought that. Yeah, I bought the sequel because the Ultraman, and there is nobody playing it. You're right.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, it didn't play as good as the first game.
Oh, I didn't play the first one.
It made sense that they tried to make it more like a fighting game, but the first game played like War of the Monsters, and that's the audience that people like. That honestly, in the second game, I'm like, you should have just made this standard fighter. In my head, like I was like, this is.
You played War of the Monsters recently?
It's janky.
It's just rough,
but it's fun.
It was so good.
It's
back
chaotic
in the day.
fun.
Yeah,
I stand by it.
You play as a Sweet Tooth mech in that game, right?
Yeah, you have to unlock it.
Yeah, you gotta unlock it, yeah.
But it is funny, Modus is publishing the next Tesla Grad game.
That's a fun game. Tesla Grad was fun.
I didn't know that there was a sequel coming out until Next Fest, and I was like, well, I'm not playing a demo. I'm interested. I don't need to.
Yeah, I saw that demo on the Next Fest stuff too, because I didn't play the first one, but I know y'all were talking about it last week, and I was like, oh snap, they made a sequel to that. Yeah.
Isn't that weird? I didn't know that Rain Games was putting out a sequel, and I brought it up the other day, and then it's like, oh shit. Okay.
Yep.
More video games. We ain't got enough. We need more.
I mean, we got too many. Lord. But yeah, God of Rock, I think you're right. I don't think it'll last. But if you look at the trailer and stuff for it, like, it looks cool. Like, watching them fight and stuff, I just don't see how you being the player can get enjoyment. Because, like, literally, you're just looking at the notes. Like, I never got to see all the punches and stuff. I don't know.
There's whatever the Kirby wasn't Canvas Curse, Rainbow Curse, I think. Whatever the one for the Wii U was, where you flying Kirby falls along it. You have to play on the Wii U tablet screen, which is like not of the highest resolution, but apparently, like, on the screen, it's beautiful. But you don't get to watch that as the player, so it's like great to everybody else watching, but not to you.
Right, but you got the sucky. Yeah, and I feel like that's what God of Rock is going to turn. Like, it would be cool to watch, but I mean, kind of suck to play. But I don't know. Another one that I played, which, like, you talked about some of the ones that you were on there where you saw the promise. Like, I see the promise in this, but it's rough right now. It's called Capes, and it's a turn-based, I guess, tactical RPG with superheroes. So in this timeline, everything is superheroes now, right?
I was gonna say, the fact that it's called Capes make me think it's like mob superheroes.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So the supervillains won in this reality, right? And so they control, and like superpowers are outlawed, and so they have the agency that. And it's funny because I think this is like a Batman storyline.
Jimmy can fly over the mountain. I'm telling you, my man can use his laser vision and shoot through the mountain. It's crazy.
But it's not bad. Graphics are okay. They look a little waxy. They don't have like it. It's very bare bones. I would say this is probably like an alpha demo because they didn't have a lot of sound effects. There was no like visual effects on some of the stuff. but like the meat and potatoes of it, as far as the gameplay and controlling because they give you two superheroes that you can play as, the different abilities and stuff was interesting enough that I'll revisit it if it ever gets to come out. So I don't think it has a date right now, but it's definitely rough. Like I can see some promise, but we'll see. I think that's it demo wise. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about some games. We'll go ahead and get this one out the way. So I'm playing Hogwarts Legacy.
Oh shit.
I know. Everybody, hold on to your butts.
Everybody,
hold on to your butts.
Are we talking about it now, or are we talking about it later in the news, Ken?
I don't remember if it's in the news or not.
Okay. Well, I mean, because we could just get it. Because my thing, and I know that we've all seen and read controversy and stuff. I'm playing the game. I like the game. Let's start there. Like, I love the game. As a Harry Potter fan, it delivers on that experience that when I say a kid, but I actually read these books when I was like in high school.
That's a kid.
Well, it is actually. Yeah, it is. I have high schoolers now, so I got to make sure I say the kid. I don't want them to think they grown. Look, here go one of them coming down here right now. She's gonna be, wait, I'm grown? So hold on. It delivers the experience that when I read the books, I imagined it would be like if I got sorted into a house. I'm a Slytherin, of course, because I'm a Slytherin. I don't know, like from the sorting ceremony to wandering around the castle to discovering all the there's tons of hidden rooms and hidden stuff. And then once you finally can branch out, because the whole story is your character that you create, your student is coming into Hogwarts as a fifth year, and has an unusual talent, ability to where he can sense ancient magic. He or she, or they, actually, because you can choose your pronouns when you create your character. So they he can see my guy's a guy, but he can see ancient magic. And the story revolves around the mystery of, why he can see it. And this is like a rare ability. So you find out there were some professors of Hogwarts of yore that had this ability. And there's a whole conspiracy and story around that side. And then there's a separate thing that there's a goblin revolt who is working to, because I haven't finished it yet, so I'm still unraveling that story. But he's working with a man named Rookwood, and they are building some machine to do something to free the goblins, I guess. I don't know. We're still trying to figure that out. But they did a good job. The graphics look great. The combat is good. I mean, as far as, you're waving a stick around and shooting stuff, right? So, I mean, it's fluid. It's a little faster, actually, than I thought it would be.
Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Hold on. You're waving your stick around and it's fluid, huh?
Oh, damn it. You ain't have to say stop for that. I thought you had a good... I hate it here. This is why I hate it here. Whatever.
You always do this.
Apparently. And I do it to myself, too. But you could have just let it go by. Don't be kidding. No,
I couldn't. I really couldn't.
I was going to let that one go, but,
See, look, he was going to let it go. But yeah, so it delivers the wizarding experience that if you were a fan of this franchise that you're looking for and you wanted to kind of put yourself in it, you can do that with this game and put yourself at the center of this experience. And I love it for that. The voice acting is good. There definitely is issues. There's some glitches and stuff, which is the kind of the normal thing that you see in open world games, because it is an open world game. I was in a cutscene. The lady was in one spot and I went to talk to her, but then, they moved positions with the cutscene where she was holding the teacup when I talked to her the first time, but then the cutscene loaded, right? And she wasn't holding the teacup. She had the plate, and then the teacup floated, zoomed into her hand off screen. She didn't cast a spell. It just caught up with the loading. It was weird. I've seen there's light that comes cracking through certain walls, where the joints are. It's not supposed to be. It's in I'm in a cave. There shouldn't be light coming through there. So it's just little stuff like that. But I'm enjoying it quite a bit. Again, I know there's a lot of controversy and there's a lot of this, that, the third, but I think that the developers who have done what they can to rebut against what Joanna is saying, I think they did what they could, and they delivered a fantastic, I think, Harry Potter experience for those people that are fans. So, and that's it about that game. So y'all go ahead. We can get that. We can talk it out.
I mean, so
my review will be out later. Sorry. Yeah, my review will be out later, y'all. I'm gonna give me a couple weeks. I get the review to y'all. But go ahead.
I don't like J.K. Rowling. It started actually before she got and went anti-trans. It started when there was a school shooting, I think, in the United States, and the cops just said that, hey, look, we think it was a lone wolf attack, or a lone wolf. So they basically what they're saying is, we don't think we have to keep looking for other people. We think this person, did what they did alone.
They acted alone, yeah.
Which is what a lone wolf means when we're referring to, unfortunately, an attack.
Right.
And she went off and said, they're already trying to spin this, that he was a loner and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, lady, you write for a living. You need to know what the fuck that means. I cannot help you with this. Like, what are you doing? Like, I get it. But let the media do what they normally do and be like, he was a loner and all this shit before you start going off, because now you just look like an idiot. And like, we all do this, but like, most of us don't write for our paycheck. And she does. So knowing what this stuff means is kind of important. So I was just like, okay, well, this is who she is. All right. And then she went anti-trans. And it's like, what an unnecessary fight to have when like trans people really aren't a huge portion of the population. And if you think that they're bigger than what they actually are, you are just listening to the loudest of the bunch, and you are choosing to focus on them. I'm sorry, like, the percentage is low. And I don't see the difference between this and any human rights thing. However, attacking people that play the video game based on what I'm assuming, actually, they'd argue based off of the movie that's based off of the book that she wrote, that Warner Brothers owns part rights to, is absurd. Making a website to call out streamers who play it, which, by the way, a lot of the streamers that were playing it were taking donations for doing donations for charities for trans people, like to help trans youth. And you're going to call them out. Your article that is calling the devs terrible, your review calling the devs terrible and how J.K. Rowling is terrible, is not invalid, but also is not helping anybody. It radicalizes the people that want to play this game to believe the things that J.K. Rowling is saying, because you are telling them they are a bad person because they're choosing to play a video game. This is not how you win allies. I do not understand how you can go out there and yell about a game, let's be honest, that's arguably made for kids, because that's who the main audience of the Harry Potter series is, or was anyways. Now they're adults.
Yeah.
And it is hard to disassociate from things you love, who were arguably a big part of your growing up, when the author proves themselves to be a shithead 20 plus years down the line. Life is not fair, and this is a circumstance where you yelling at someone who wants to play the game is not helping anything. You'd be better off focusing that at the people that J.K. Rowling supports, J.K. Rowling herself, the politicians that want to pass anti-trans bills. Like, these are all people that deserve your hate, not the person that bought a video game and wants to play it. I'm sorry. You are contributing nothing. You're actually causing more problems than solving. It's disappointing. And listen, this is someone who is pro-trans. I have no patience for J.K. Rowling at all. I'm pretty sure when I had a Twitter account, I told her to fuck herself.
Damn,
I
man.
know I've done it. I know I've done it to conservative politicians who want to pass this same sort of bill. I don't do it for clout. I do it so someone has to read it. Whether it be the person themselves or their intern or the person that they pay, I want them to know that I fucking despise them for their views. And
get banned?
this is no.
Of
No,
course
no,
you didn't.
that's what I'm irritated about when I got banned from or slapped on the wrist from Twitter. I had done more terrible things to politicians. Maybe they thought they deserved them too. I don't know, but
Right.
it's just like you are better off focusing that at the person you dislike, and for the reasons you dislike them. You are better off doing that than going through everybody else before them. You're just taking the easier route. Like, to shit on somebody playing a video game is a lot easier than deconstructing why J.K. Rowling is wrong. How about she's wrong for the fact that she has partnered herself with people who do not like trans people, who partnered themselves with white supremacists, because these are all things that white supremacists agree on with these anti-trans women. I don't know what to call them. TERFs. Sorry, that's for these TERF women. And so I'm just kind of irritated the fact that like all this energy is being put out about Hogwarts Legacy, with sites saying we're not covering it, but then talking about it like just because it's getting clicks and stuff. Let people enjoy their fucking game. I'm not saying don't inform these people, but I'm also saying don't fucking pick fights with these people. They're just playing a video game. You can say, well, but like J.K. Rowling has her money already from this. Like, I hate to break it down, but that's how licensing works. She might get a percentage of the sales if that's what she signed, but like they probably gave her a lump sum up front for a lot of this. So whether or not you buy the game, she still makes off good. Like,
Right. Which, let's be honest, even if they gave her a lump sum, it literally is going to be a drop in an ocean of her money, right?
oh,
Like,
for
I
sure.
mean, she makes so much off of everything else.
So, if you want to really get at J.K. Rowling, find her current publisher that she writes her new adult books under. Go contact them. Don't fucking go and shit on people that reviewed the game and liked it. Don't go, and I'm preaching to the choir. I don't think any of our listeners are going to have this issue. It's just,
I don't think so.
As the bleeding heart on the podcast today, I'm sorry, I disagree with the way that this has been handled by a lot of people who are like, I am pro-trans, anti-J.K. Rowling, and I'm going to hate on everybody that plays this video game. You break down anything far enough, your money's going to somebody evil. You are, sending these tweets via an iPhone that's made at Foxconn, that's a factory where they had to put up nets so people couldn't kill themselves off the top of buildings because it's like slave labor. I am not going to criticize you for using a cell phone. I get it. We're kind of all victims of consumerism. But, like, if you're gonna shit on somebody for playing a video game, you have to take a good look at yourself to some extent and think of all the things that you consume. If you consume Nestle products, congratulations. You've probably given into one of the worst companies in the world. The CEO, or whatever position, the president, he said that drinking water was not a human right. I don't even know how to respond to that.
Jesus.
In any... Yeah. So, like, again,
I told
know
you,
that
everybody's a piece of shit.
Everybody's a piece of shit.
did.
Yeah. And so, like, it's depressing to see that this is the talk around a game. I have no interest in this game outside of J.K. Rowling. Like, I don't have I didn't have the same love for Harry Potter as I did my age. I liked the first 3 books and then gave up on the 4th. I just didn't have interest in it anymore. And so, it's...
Man,
it's just
where
this
it
big...
arguably gets better.
I'm sure it is. I realized around that time I actually had a hard time reading black text on white pages.
Gotcha.
I was reading it at night, and my eyes couldn't focus very well. I think it's become better since, but I just remember getting lost in the words on the page there, and that was like a new thing for me. So anyway, sorry, I hate to rant, but it's like for someone that definitely understands the cause, and the reasoning behind why people are upset that this game is what it is. I also see the absolute worst outcome from the way that this is being handled. I think the streamers who got hate for playing the game, who were donating to trans youth and all these charities that help trans people, I think they're the best solution to this. You shouldn't feel guilty for wanting to play a game ever, really, unless the game literally has you crush a child to play it. Then maybe we have a conversation. But it's like, if you do feel for some reason some guilt, like, offset it with some donations or something. Be kind to someone else is a way to go too. Like, it really is, like, this is not it is very easy to separate this game from the many steps that it takes to get to the actual creator. So, it's a shame that this has been the conversation.
It is, because it genuinely is a really good game. Like, it's a really good fantasy RPG. And I know that it just crushes the devs that this is what, they worked so hard on, and this is what it's devolved into because of, somebody wanting to run their mouth. And I just, the review that gave it a 1 out of 10 and really went on a whole diatribe, she only really talked about the game for maybe 2 paragraphs. The rest of it was just an opinion piece, and I'm not, as someone who writes reviews, I honestly, everybody is entitled to their own opinion. But I don't know how that quantifies as a review, right? I don't know if y'all read it, but it just, I don't know.
I feel like I'm in a glass house with that review. I wrote the review for that Wonder Boy collection and gave it a 1 out of 10, because of what I find shitty business practices. And I was proven right, because guess what? They released the full version months later. But it's one of those things where it's like, I don't really appreciate, shitty business practices that are going to make someone double dip. So I gave it a 1 out of 10 because I knew it was going to be bad. And so I get having a stance be kind of the review when you think that there's something shitty and wrong at play. But at the same time, I go, why did you review the game?
Well, and then there's that.
Like,
right?
You knew you weren't going to have a good time, but you were going to have to write about it.
Right. And maybe that's what I was trying to say. You're right. Go ahead. Yep.
If everybody who was like, I would have never asked for Hogwarts. I probably would have brought up the fact, if I had to write a review, I probably would have brought up the fact, hey, look, I don't like the creator of Harry Potter. I think she's wrong. Here's the game review. I'm trying to make this as unbiased as possible, but like, that ain't gonna happen. It just ain't. I apologize in advance. But I also, if Ken was like, who wants to review it, I wouldn't have put up my fucking hand. I do not want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about her, because every time you talk about, and this is not, to me, shitting on conservatives, but I'm going to use them as an example because I find I disagree with them more. It's like, every time you talk about a conservative politician who has like some really shitty views, you give them attention and you talk about them publicly, and you've just amplified whatever they're saying. This is exactly how Trump... Everybody thought Trump was a joke. All these newspapers were like, oh, look at this fool. And then
everybody was being funny. Yup. And I kept saying, I was like, y'all gonna fuck around and he gonna win. Like, you gonna laugh around.
And this isn't even a criticism. If you, like, this isn't a criticism of Trump. It really isn't. It was just like, I disagreed with the guy. I saw the potential of him winning. Everybody else seemed to think it was a joke. All these newspapers and stuff. And all they did was amplify his message. And so again, I don't understand that aspect of taking on the review, because you're going to talk about her anti-trans stuff, and like, there's a time and a place, and to me, when you attach that to a game that somebody wants to play, again, it just invigorates them to go, oh, well, fuck this person that doesn't like me because I'm playing this game. Maybe J.K. Rowling's right. It's not that simple, but it is that is how they lure people into these extremist mindsets. Both sides. Both sides. They don't like you because of this, and we have all this other stuff. Why don't we teach you all the other things? Like, it's just, it's a toxic mentality. It's a fucking video game there where people fucking cast spells at each other. Like, if you removed Hogwarts, I don't think the issue would have been there. Names of the people and all. It's just, enjoy your fucking video games, you know? Like, I like Shadow Complex. Does anybody remember that? Who wrote that?
Orson Scott Card.
Orson Scott Card is an asshole. He wrote one of the worst Iron Man comics, too. But he does not like gay people.
I didn't know he wrote a comic.
It was a bad Iron Man. Iron Man's blue because he has iron in him.
Ew, okay.
They quickly undid his work. But, like, he does not like gay marriage and gay people, and he's very vocal about it. I have friends that won't play Shadow Complex because of his tangential connection, and I don't blame them, but I like Shadow Complex.
Is Shadow Complex the one that was made by Chair?
Yeah.
And it was the side scroll. Yeah, oh god, that game was good. I didn't realize that he had those problems, but that was a good game. Wow.
He also wrote
Advent Rising.
Advent Rising.
Oh,
so, like,
well.
Yeah, well, you know, sometimes it is what it is, but it's just like, again, this breakdown of, like, you know, there's shitty people everywhere, and it's like, I commend people for knowing, like, having morals and sticking to them. I commend people for knowing the morals of people who make the things they like. But I'm also not willing to condemn people for like wanting to play a video game because some lady somewhere that wrote the story it's based off of loosely and set up the lore, which they're not sticking to fully, you know, doesn't like trans people. That ain't cool with me. And maybe I'm alone in that. Maybe in my weird workaround on how I'm dealing with this. Someone that doesn't like her, but it just, I don't know, not worth it to make enemies when a little bit of like, hey, you know, I'm not really interested, but I'm glad you're enjoying your game. I just don't like her, you know, goes along more than fucking yelling at somebody because how dare you?
All right, I feel it. Okay. And, okay, we'll move on from Harry. Well, yeah, we'll move on from Harry Potter.
Oh, no, if you got more to talk about on the video game side of it, I'm more than willing to hear it.
No, I don't. Really, the only thing that because I'm going to review it, like, right? And I, like I said, I do. The only thing that I find funny is because you're a fifth year, so you're like 15 years old. And I say this all the time about Hogwarts. I'm like, this is, first of all, the worst school ever. Like, the security at this school is awful. Like, I'm 15 and I'm in a dark forest in the middle of the night, killing spiders and dark wizards and goblins. I'm murdering people and ain't nobody even saying nothing. Like, I'm literally laying out 15. I'm just like, huh.
Wait,
right.
So hold on. Okay, now I have a question that has to do with Harry Potter lore. Again, not that stuff's concrete at all. Your fifth year?
Yep.
Do you choose what house you're in?
So you can. So the way I did it is because if you do the little Harry Potter fan club, dang man, I'm putting all my nerddom out here. If you do the little Harry Potter club thing, I think it's called Wizarding World now, but you actually like it puts you in a house and you get your wand and all this other stuff. Well, you can link that account with the game and it'll put you in, your stuff. So I was in Slytherin through there. So in answer to your question, yes, I do believe there is a way for you to pick your own house, but like mine was kind of like already picked because I linked.
Oh, because I was just like, how the fuck does oh god, I know too much about a series I haven't really engaged with. I don't even think I watched past the fourth movie. how the fuck does is the sorting hat there? Like, what the fuck does
Yes.
this doesn't make any sense?
When you when you start the game, you're with this. You're being flown into the opening is actually pretty legit. Like I think they have it on YouTube and stuff. But if you're flying to Hogwarts and a dragon attacks and somebody gets eaten, and so you get to the school by way of some old ruins, which is really just a disguised tutorial. Let's be honest. But you get to the school and the sorting ceremony is like just ending. And so you're like the last person to get sorted. So they bring you up to the front, they put the hat on your head, and it does the whole thing that they do in the movies. And I feel like it said I could press X to change something, but like my stuff popped out. Like he already said, like, oh, you're a Slytherin, because I had already like locked it in. But I think it did say I could change it.
How are you sorting if you're in 5th year is my point.
Well, okay. Well, see, so because he's still a new student to the school, so he still had to be sorted into a house. Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
How the fuck
it's
does
just
that make sense?
Yeah, he's just abnormally. That's the whole thing, the whole mystery around. And I keep saying he because that's what my character. But that's the whole mystery around your character is that you got to school as a 5th year because your talent stuff developed late and you have this ability and everything. So that's a whole thing. And then once you find out in that mystery, one of the professors that also could see this ancient magic. 2 of them actually also started in 5th year. So it must have something to do. So I don't know. We're still unraveling the mysteries. But yeah, this 15-year-old just out here murdering people. Like I'm just out here just laying them out. And I'm like, huh, all right. I feel like Hogwarts is actually more closer to Clovos, the school from the Key and Peele sketch. Like, 'cause the security at Hogwarts is awful.
You say, well, just bring a gun.
Right, it's a wad with a silencer. You why? Oh man, but no, I'm enjoying the game, so I'll get the review. It probably will be a couple of weeks. So they got it to us late, so I'm like I said, I'm not too far into it, but that'll seg into what I'm playing now that I can't talk about too in depthly.
Hold on, one more question for you because this is now back when I was into Harry Potter. Again, this is purely because I just fell out of love with Harry Potter. Really had nothing to do with the author. I did play the first 2 PC games, Philosopher's Stone and Chamber of Secrets. And are there a bunch of hidden shit in hidden secrets in Hogwarts?
Yes.
Because that was the best part of those games, was getting new spells and then running around and being like, oh, I can open this thing now.
Yep. It's the same thing here. So, and the way it's done, because again, you're starting at a 5th year, so they're trying to like catch you up, right, to everybody else. So you'll get like side assignments from professors. So you'll go, I think the first couple of classes you go to is like potions and defense against the dark arts. And they'll teach you, a spell, which has this like little quick mini game where you have to trace this thing, whatever, and then it's like locked in.
Oh my god, that's exactly the same.
Oh wow, okay, yeah, all right, yeah. So yeah,
the old one was like whatever the I'm gonna say Flipendo because all the names are kind of stupid like that. Where it was like a spell that you could use to like flip stuff over.
Yep,
and I think that was a spiral. Of a spiral shape that you had to draw with your like mouse cursor.
Nice. I don't think it was a spiral this time.
But it was stuff like that where it was like you'd have to I don't remember what fucking other ones were, but like you would have to like draw the shape every time you cast it. And it was like or not all of them. If you're doing it on an object, but like if you're pointing at an enemy, like the flip Pendo spell would like just automatically activate, but it was just like you'd have to trace it, and then it would be like you got 9 to 7% in the lands, and I was like, cool. So it's just funny that they brought that back because that was how they did it.
Yeah, the mobile
2 games.
The mobile game had that too, where you would trace the spells because it was done like Pokemon Go. But you were out here fighting snakes and spiders and stuff. Oh my god, if you're an arachnophobe, god, this game has so many spiders. Oh god.
You have
and they're gigantic.
Mode?
They do not. I did look.
Wow,
I did not see anything like that. Yeah, it wasn't anything. But there is so many spiders.
Grounded, where they just turn them into blobs.
Yeah, there's another game that did that too. I can't remember what it was, but it had.
I hope all the enemies were spiders in that game, so just all blobs now.
But no, I am quite enjoying the game. The combat is like it's very combo based. So and it's funny you talk about Flipendo because the spells it works best by keeping them in the air. So you use like Leviosa to put them up in the air, and then you can use Flipendo to extend the combo to like flip them and keep them in the air, and then you just hit them with your basic spell, which is just you hitting like the right trigger. You can do that like 4 times, and then you can put them back up in the air. And you can do like Leviosa or not Leviosa, what is it, Accio, to bring them like to you while they're floating in the air. Like it's all about juggling the combat. And then it has the whole Batman kind of Arkham series counter. So, you'll get a little glowing thing around your head that'll be yellow when you're about to get attacked. And if you hit Y at the right time, you'll do a Protego. And if you hold it, they'll cast Stupefy, which will like stun. I'm like doing hand motions with like I have a wand in my hand while I'm doing it. I am such a nerd. Okay, moving on. So the other game that I'm playing, which I am reviewing as well, we could talk about a little bit, is Wild Hearts. And this is the EA original that is who is it? Not Tecmo. Oh my goodness.
I'm looking it up.
Koei
Tecmo, yeah.
Koei Tecmo, yeah. Is developing.
Oh, this is their Monster Hunter game
their Monster Hunter game.
Takeden.
Yep. Yeah. So okay, I've never played that game, but
you play Monster
I went to
Hunter?
the press event. I have played Monster Hunter, yes, but I have not played Tukiden or whatever. But it was referenced a lot in the little press event. Like the other press people were talking about it. They were like, "Yeah, this looks like that," and I was like, "I don't know what that is." I didn't mean to cut you off. What was it like? I'm sorry, my bad. Go ahead.
I mean, if you've played Monster Hunter, you kind of know what Takeden is like. It had this sort of more. I don't want to say Japanese because I don't know if they're going for a Japanese look.
And
but,
this,
the monsters,
yes, it's
but
Japan.
well, because I don't know where Tukiden takes place. I'm gonna assume it's Japan, but it is like same sort of thing with the monsters having more of a Japanese style or Asian style.
Gotcha. I got into Monster Hunter with Monster Hunter Rise, and I absolutely adore Monster Hunter. I've put so many hours into that. But I really like Wild Hearts. It's more my speed, and I'm going to tell you why. One, the combat. It's faster than Monster Hunter. It almost feels like I'm playing like a Ninja Gaiden type game, right? Action game, just hunting gigantic monsters. And there are weapons which will kind of slow down the combat a bit if you use the bigger weapons like the big great sword and the big maul, which is like a hammer. But most of the weapons are like there's a staff, there's a normal basic like katana. My favorite weapon has become the hook and line. So you attack with this hook and then like you can you use the right trigger attack and you like drive it into the monster and you can push off. And so you're like now flying like Crouching Tiger Hidden style or Crouching Tiger Hidden Dragon style around this monster on this wire line, dodging around them. And then you can pull yourself forward and you do these different attacks that ends in this like epic like cross slash. Like the combat is so fluid. It's my style. Like it just meshes with me really well. But even beyond that, everything is more, to me, is just more simplified than in Monster Hunter. In Monster Hunter, you, at least the one that I played, in Monster Hunter Rise, you go to the Dango to eat before you go on hunts. And you go, you have to order and it does different stuff, whereas it'll give you, make you sharpen your weapon faster or make you dodge farther or whatever else. Well, this Wild Hearts has the same thing, but you don't have to eat on the go. You just be out in the field and eat right before your hunt. So you don't have to, like, each of the food items does a bunch of different stuff. Like it'll tell you, give you plus 6% to health, plus 5% to defense, fire resistance, water resistance. And all of it is just laid out a lot easier and quicker to understand than in Monster Hunter. And it's easier to get to. Like if you want to eat, you just push left on your D-pad and it'll pull up all the food items you can eat. You don't have to hold left bumper and hold B while scrolling with your right tongue or put your tongue on the left. Just Monster Hunter controls are complicated. Like they're so complicated.
I wonder if it's the control scheme, but I still think it's just the setup of the games that don't interest me. But
Gotcha.
it is funny that you say that, because that I definitely was like, yeah, I don't. And I mean, tried Monster Hunter a long time ago, so like I think PlayStation Portable age, and I was like,
Gotcha.
yeah, I don't like the whole goal of this.
See,
But
and
you're saying like, oh, it's really simplified, and you go in, you attack stuff, and it's like, oh, you get a buff for water. I'm like,
it
it's
is
a
like
little bit more like me.
even like so like in Monster Hunter, you gotta hit the button to put your weapon up before you can even like take your heal potion or whatever. And this, no, you just hit up on your D-pad to drink your healing water. He'll put his weapon up automatically. You don't have to hit the button to put the weapon up. Like everything is just simplified and it just works so much better. Like yeah, like if you like those those action games like Devil May Cry or even Ninja Gate and stuff like that, like you totally should try this. Because like I mean, if you had any interest in hunting stuff, because it has co-op, unlike Monster Hunter, it only has 3-player, so they don't do 4-player in this. But even the monsters look like to me are cooler. And again, I haven't seen the long history of Monster Hunter monsters, but compared to Rise, they look cooler. Like the whole deal here is these monsters are like it's all about being one with nature. So you'll have one of the first ones you go against is this rat-like creature who has like this red rose on its on the side of its head and this giant like bud on its tail that it can slam around. Or the King Tusk, which is this gigantic warthog with the long tusk. I think there's some trailers out of him and a bunch of eyes, and it's just huge. But they become enraged once you damage them to a certain point, and they like mutate. So like his mutation is he'll put up a whole bunch of like trees up out of the ground, and they like slam up around him, and they'll do a bunch of damage if you don't dodge. And he'll become like he'll get flame tusks. And he'll just become more like overgrown with moss and different stuff. Like he like literally became one with the land. I'm not doing it justice. It's super cool to watch all of it like, in motion, and all of the creatures like have these different kind of change. Like there's a bird that's with poison. There's this wolf that I was stuck on last night. That's in the ice section. Oh my God, it's hard. And then there's a ape that's like stone. Like he's a lava back. He's like this stone ape that's that has like fire and everything. And this is the first super hard challenge you run into in that game. It's amping up at that point. But the concepts are still the same with Monster Hunter. So you'll have to craft your armor and your weapons based off of, hunting these creatures. Unlike Monster Hunter, in this, once you craft a weapon in Monster Hunter, actually, you know what? Maybe that's not unlike. I believe in Monster Hunter, if you revert the weapon back, so if you take those upgrades back, you lose those resources. In this, you do not. So if you've hunted, a King Tusk and got the parts to upgrade your sword this way, and it utilized that, and you change your mind, you can revert that and take it back to its base form, and you'll get refunded whatever you put into the weapon up to that point. Again, I'm pretty sure you lose that stuff in Monster Hunter, but I haven't actually reverted anything in that. But in this, it allows for a lot of trial and error, right? So you can try different things on weapons. Well, maybe this attack is going to work better, or maybe if I use this one because it's going to have some fire damage. And you're not going to be out anything for trying, right? You're not going to lose those resources. But yeah, it's really good. It is. I'm enjoying it quite a lot. Well, I won't go into the story. I'll hold off on that for the review. But like gameplay wise, it's definitely solid. I would say that the Monster Hunter has a real contender with this. But yeah, if you like those Monster Hunter games, definitely this is going to be one to look out for.
So weird that this is EA.
I know, right? Yeah, and it's so funny because they say EA Originals at the beginning. Like there's a voice that says EA Originals, and I'm like, oh wow, okay, they even put okay, all right. But no, it's good. We're in a golden age of video games, I believe, my friends. Savor it. It may not come again. That's all I got. Man, y'all don't even say nothing about my epic thing. But yeah, go ahead, Ken.
No, I'm good.
So
I'm awake.
I was going to say, like, oh, we're in a golden age, so I will play Vampire Survivors for another 4 hours and not play anything else.
That's all right, because Ken will play, freaking Overwatch 2 for another 18 days.
I'm playing with him! There's no time for me to play anything else. I go and play with him.
That's funny. Well, he was like, "Oh, I got diamond," and then he got off and he went back, and I was like, "Man, what if you got diamond? Take a break. Go do something else."
You can't stay diamond if you take breaks.
You know what? I guess that's what it is. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Well, all right. I'll try to go fast because we're already way deep.
I don't think there's much else to talk about.
I know we've done like a lot. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry.
No, you good? You good?
It was me going off on JK. Anyways, continue.
I don't like Harry Potter. I've never liked Harry Potter. I took naps through the movies because people dragged me to them. But I kind of want to play the game because everybody says it's good. So maybe someday. Indie games. Oh, let's see. Anything interesting this week? I spent too much time making a jigsaw puzzle about Alice in Wonderland.
What?
There's literally there was a jigsaw puzzle game dropped this week called Alice in Wonderland: A Jigsaw Puzzle Tale. It's literally just putting jigsaw puzzles together. I must be getting old because I could play that thing for like hours. I don't even care.
Yeah. Power Wash Simulator. We putting together puzzles. Man, yeah, we getting old.
Yeah. Touchdown pinball. It's pinball machines based on football. Yeah, that's what it is. I feel it's like every week there has to be one of those, here's a game where you go left to right and a platform puzzler. Like I played another one of those called Peachy Boy. You literally just go grab a key, open a door, and go. There you go. There's an interesting platformer I played called Go Go Pogo Girl, and you're essentially constantly pogoing up and down, and it's a platformer, and it's actually pretty good. I enjoyed that.
I like the graphics. They kind of look like a Master System in the color scheme.
Yep, and it
Go Pogo Girl.
Yeah, Go Go Pogo Girl, and like you're constantly jumping, so it's almost like a runner, but it's just, we'll call it a jumper. There you go. And you can do like a Mario spin by pressing the X button, and then you can also hold down to like charge a big jump. It's not bad.
That developer has another game coming out called Chibi Ninja Shinokun, Treasure of Demon Tower.
I'd play that.
And boy, it also looks like a Master System game. Fuck, it looks pretty good. God damn.
Yeah, this was a good game. I enjoyed this game. The Experiment popped up and it's an escape room game, so I immediately noped out of that. The Red Dress of Mira is the first.
Okay, can I just quickly say we saw you start up The Experiment like last night, I think. And Drew's like, he's playing The Experiment, and then we saw you playing something else immediately after. He's like, why did you jump out of that so quick?
It immediately pops up and it says, this is an escape room, and I was like, nope. Nope.
With a quickness.
Yeah, like, hey, I am a man who, if you show me what I don't want to see, I'm just noping right out. Like, I'm not wasting my time. It's fine.
Hard-based roguelike.
God dang it.
I'm out.
Everything's a roguelike. Jesus.
The Red Dress of Mira is a first-person, like, fantasy action game. It's kind of janky. I ain't gonna lie. It's pretty janky.
So Ryan will love it. All right.
I don't even think he'd like this. This feels like an asset like swap or something. Like it just,
no.
it don't feel good. So, but yeah, Xbox. That's I played some more GoldenEye. I played some Hi-Fi Rush. I'm trying to get through that. I went back to the Callisto Protocol because I finished Dead Space and I was like, man, I need some more of that. Like I played an hour of the Callisto Protocol. I was like, I don't know if I need this. It's not.
You don't. No.
It's not great.
You know, that is curious though. Like that was your reaction to this, going from Dead Space to Callisto Protocol. So clearly, Dead Space is the better.
Oh, absolutely! Like as soon as I played Dead Space, I was like, okay, this is what I want. This is amazing. And then I went back to Callisto Protocol. I was like, this isn't what I wanted. Like I don't.
Gotcha. Maybe they'll get it right with the sequel.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. This is gonna be a weird year. This is gonna seg into what I'm about to talk to. I got a feeling that 3 of my top 10 games this year might be remakes/remasters.
Oh God! So Dead Space.
Dead Space, Resident Evil 4, and the game I'm
Oh,
about to talk to right now,
Uh-huh.
Metroid Prime Remaster.
Oh, I forgot that. Yeah, Shadow dropped. Okay.
Oh. Still a 10 out of 10 game.
Always has been.
The stuff that they did to this version. So everybody says, that PC version with the HD textures, that's what. No. This is the way to play the game now. Retro they should be at Hogwarts because these motherfuckers are wizards. This is the best looking game on Switch.
It was the best looking game on GameCube.
It runs at a locked 60 frames a second. And it is not just the original game. They have done shit to this, and it looks amazing. Like, if you had
The
told
only
me...
thing...
Go ahead.
The only things from what I've seen that I wasn't a huge fan of was the lighting changes. Maybe it's better later on, but like that first intro sequence was done almost like a horror game in the original, and it was very bright in the version I watched.
I guess I didn't notice.
Like the shadows in the original are almost black. Like there's a lot of areas in that original derelict space freighter thing.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, it looked great.
The control changes, amazing. There are now dual analog controls, but they also allow the ability to, if you've ever played Red Dead Redemption, you know how like you can. Metroid always had the lock on, so you can like pull the left trigger, lock onto an enemy, you can attack them, kind of strafe around them. They've added a control function that allows you to kind of tweak that aim now with the right stick while you're locked on, and you can also do it with the gyro controls if you choose. Like there's like 4 different control options. If there was one thing I'd wish they would have added, it would have been fast travel. Because Lord Almighty, you will go get something in this game and then have to travel all the way back across the map to use it to like progress the game.
That's kind of a Metroid
But that's
game
their
in general.
shtick.
That's their shtick.
Yeah,
I get it. I do get it, and that's the way the game was designed.
Gotcha.
There was a I think there ends up being a fast travel somewhat later on in Metroid Prime, if I'm correct, right?
I honestly don't remember. I just got the double jump, so like I'm about I think 3 hours in so far. And I've gone through the Magmore I think it's really just the Magmore caves really drive me crazy because I keep having to walk through them. And like the Magmore caves, if you remember, is a lot of the ball with the little things that eat you and spit you into the lava, and it's like I got to go back past these dudes again. And I don't have the grappling hook. You could go through that area much faster if you've got the grappling hook, but I don't have it yet.
Oh, it was 2, by the way. 2 had a fast travel much later on into the game.
Gotcha.
So I wasn't 1. Sorry.
Also,
and I'm gonna have to play this game because I've never played it. Like I said.
Oh wait, hold on, wait. God damn, Terrence is one of the best.
Yeah, it'll be
games
my
ever
first
made.
times.
It is literally.
I've heard that.
It's not even kidding. Like this is literally probably top 10 of all time for me.
Yeah, me too.
Damn.
The game is that good.
So imagine it's a first-person shooter. It's now this is on the GameCube era. It's essentially open world.
Mm-hmm.
There is a ton of shit to find. It's got a ton of lore built in.
The music is amazing.
The music's amazing. The environmental effects. You walk near a waterfall and the visor would get covered in moisture.
Yeah, I remember seeing that because like I worked that game crazy when it was out, so like I would have it running. Like I've played it, but I've not played it. You know what I mean?
The rain in the first area.
Of Talon 4. Yeah. Also, when you fire a rocket like at close range and you see the reflection of her face in her visor.
Yeah.
Still so good.
And then the end of that game gets so fucking crazy.
The first time you see Ridley in that game, it's just like, oh my god.
How much bigger he is, yeah.
Oh, it's huge. Or when you walk out into the Fenandra plains and he flies overhead and all you see is a fucking shadow.
Yeah, the one where the one that gets me is the spaceship that's in the ice, and you go down into the water. And the first time you go, first couple times you go through, you're so slow underwater, and then when you get the gravity suit, you clip through there.
Yep. The thing about this game is, it is the perfect. There's never been a better game before or after this that every time you get an upgrade, you just want to explore. Like the level of exploration in this game is so good. It's just paced perfectly.
Every time I talk to y'all, I end up spending some money. God,
I mean, this right here is
there's a physical version coming out, so just wait if you want to grab that. But it's so Metroid Prime 2 is like much darker, not just visually, but like story wise. There's a bit more plot going on. It does some interesting things, but I don't think it's as good as Metroid Prime. Prime Hunters, which was a pretty good attempt at doing that on the DS, was good. And then 3 was more linear.
No, she doesn't talk.
Okay, because the last one I played was Dread.
She talks in 2 games. Dread? Actually, technically she talks in Fusion, but nobody has voice acting.
Yeah.
And and she talks in the Team Ninja one.
There's a reason why they put so much effort into this remake. Like, the rumor is that they're putting out 1, 2, and 3, but 2 and 3 are not going to get the like care that this one did, and it's because this game, I don't know, man.
At the bar.
This game is like I said, top 10 of all time for games.
Terrence? Have you ever played the Chronicles of Riddick game?
Yes, I love that. Yes.
Did you ever play The Darkness?
Yes, love that too. Both of them.
You will love this game because the what those games are essentially, and I'm not saying this because I think they're bad games. I love both of those. They're like lesser Metroid Primes.
Yeah, think of those as like the dollar store version of Metroid Prime.
I wouldn't go that far, but yeah,
wow.
the great value version. Because what they do have, unlike Metroid Prime, is that they have mini missions sort of too, with all the people you can talk to.
Yeah.
But what Metroid doesn't have but Metroid does have is like some fucking puzzles and like platforming segments and stuff that work in first person, which is something that you can't say about most games.
Yep.
Listen, I suck at first-person platforming in Destiny. My kids will tell you that. Like I've held up many a raid run because I couldn't make it jump.
This shows how platforming in most first-person games are broken, because she has more of a float time, and then you get double jumps and like fucking screw attack later on and stuff. Actually, that might be the sequel.
Yeah,
well, I'm glad I waited, because it sounds like this is the definitive version. So I'm interested. Like, and I like exploring, and that's why it's going to take me so long with Hogwarts. There's a lot to explore, so I like going off and finding all the different stuff. So it sounds like Metroid and I we're gonna be friends.
Oh, Metroid Prime quite possibly could be my game of the year. Like, it's so good.
Oh,
it's so good. But anyway, also from the Nintendo Direct, they shadow dropped the Game Boy Advance. I've been playing some of that, which they're bringing Fusion to the Game Boy Advance one, so I'm gonna revisit that. So I played a bunch of those.
I liked Fusion.
Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins, still so good. Minish Cap, incredible. Game Boy Advance games are really good on the TV.
I haven't looked up the list, so I have to do that right now.
Yeah, there's some good stuff in there. There's a weird one. There's a weird pull with Alone in the Dark for the Game Boy Color. That is such
New Nightmare.
Yeah,
which is the one.
What was that about?
So take Alone in the Dark, A New Nightmare, which is basically a Resident Evil ass game, because they did make it more like Resident Evil than the original Alone in the Dark.
Yeah.
Take that, put it on the Game Boy, but instead of having battles in real time in the environment, so like they use the same backgrounds, and they've made them like you move your character through the world like you do in the normal 3D versions of the games. Like they have the same angles and everything. but when you get into a battle, it goes to a top-down view.
Yeah, it's a weird pull
It's
to put it on there.
impressive. That came out since, so just looking, Link's Awakening DX,
Mm-hmm.
Gargoyle's Quest is a perfect pull.
Also,
Game & Watch Gallery 3, Wario Land 3, Metroid 2, which
Samus Returns,
Kirby's
yeah.
Dream Land, Tetris, 6
Dude,
golden coins.
I played Tetris, and it's just like I just slipped back into a coma. Like I just played it for like an hour and a half.
Looks like the Oracle games will be added later on. Oh shit. Pokemon trading card game and Kirby Tilt and Tumble finally it's playable.
Also, the app that's on the Switch, you can set it to be Game Boy visuals, Game Boy Color visuals. You can even like there's a filter to turn on like what it would look like on an original Game Boy screen.
Oh wow.
It's nice.
Huh.
It's real nice. And then if you've got
Looking at
the bigger tier, there's only 6 GBA games right now.
yeah, Super Mario Advance 4, Super Mario Brothers 3 E, which is one of my favorite titles
Yeah, that
ever.
one's really
WarioWare
good.
Inc. Mega Micro Games, which is a classic. Kuru Kuru Kurin, which I have a Japanese copy of, which because it only came out in Japan.
Stick.
Yeah, Irritating Stick is essentially what it is. Mario Kart Super Circuit, Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, which is a must-play,
Yep.
and The Legend of Zelda Minish Cap, which is also a must-play, and then in the future, Metroid Fusion, Kirby and the Amazing Mirror, which, here's a question for you, Ken. Does it have multiplayer built in?
Yes, you can play multiplayer.
Kirby and the Amazing Mirror with 4 fucking players is finally doable.
Yep, you can play. It's just like the 64 one where it'll just connect.
Ah!
So,
And then Fire Emblem, F-Zero Maximum Velocity, and Sun will be coming as well.
yep. I'll tell you what, there's not been a Nintendo Direct in a while where afterwards the shadow drops were so good that... There's a demo for that Sea of Stars game too, but I didn't play that, and Octopath Traveler 2, which I also did not play.
All right,
Sea of
so
Stars is good. I did play that. I've been waiting for that one anyway.
So is someone on Twitter going to hand me my ass for the Metroid thing, or are you going to do it, Ken?
Nah, I'll leave it. I won't say anything.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Well, I guess
He said it wasn't
I
real, and now it's real.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
you know
real.
what? How many
It's
times did they
real.
say it was going to come out?
Well, I do think that Nintendo was just holding it, just like the weirdest. Okay, we'll get into it in the news. We'll deal with the
right.
news. I'm gonna move on because we got to get through all this other stuff. So that's all I've played. I have played some other stuff, but I can't tell you about it. So that'll be this next week. I'll tell you about Wanted Dead. I think we're gonna talk about Like a Dragon Ishin in like maybe not next week, maybe the week after. And then maybe we'll be talking about Atomic Heart, which is another thing that me and Anthony will have a conversation about at some point. But let's talk about what's out this week.
I'll go into that history again when that game comes out.
Which is soon. Journey to the Savage... excuse me. Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5. Journey to the Savage Planet, Employee of the Month Edition. 10 dates. Wanted Dead. City Skylines Remastered. Shadow Warrior 3 Definitive Edition, Gigantosaurus Dino Kart, Rise of Fox Hero, and Wild Hearts.
City Skylines should have been called Restructured.
Yeah, that's pretty good. But
Oh,
it's
actually,
not THQ Nordic, so that we don't get a stupid
Oh,
name.
okay.
PlayStation 5 is pretty much the same stuff. We're also getting Labyrinth of Galeria, The Moon Society, Miraculous, Rise of the Sphinx, Souls of Kronos, and oh shit, Drew's in for a treat. Paw Patrol, Mighty Pups, Save Adventure Bay. And that's it for PlayStation 4, or PlayStation 5 and Series X. For PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, mostly the same stuff. We're also getting Theater Rhythm, Final Bar Line, Rooftop Renegade, Tales of Symphonia Remastered, which I'm also playing. Warp, Comet Striker DX, and Roadstones. And for some weird reason, Like a Dragon Ishin Digital Deluxe Edition is listed for Saturday, but that doesn't seem right. Right? You put out a game on Saturday?
Never heard of them putting out a game on Saturday.
That's just a weird thing, right?
Yeah.
That's not just me. Anyway. All right, Nintendo Switch. Blanc, Labyrinth of Galeria. There's like 4 of these. Labyrinth of Galeria, The Moon Society, Great Boots Quest, Great Hat Quest, and Special Soul Pact Quest. Spy Brothers, Pippi and Bibby DX, Pocket Witch, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Expansion Pass Wave 3, Dust and Neon, Ein Sword, Eldorand, which I'm also playing and I can't tell you about yet, Forklift Extreme Impound Lot, Geometric Sniper Blood in Paris, Hopping Girl Kohane EX, Lucy's Potager, Montezuma's Revenge 8-Bit Edition, Prima Puzzle Game, Silver Falls Ghoul Busters, Sniper Strike 3D, Elite Mission Warfare Ghost Squad, The Legend of Gwen, Verdict Guilty, Cyber Heroes Arena DX. All of these games will be forgotten in like 20 minutes.
So I looked up Dust and Neon, which is kind of like I got a cool art style. You are a single cowboy against an army of robots in this fast-paced, roguelite action twin-stick shooter set in the futuristic Wild West.
I think they sent me a PR email about this, and I saw the word rogue and was just like, nah.
I do like the reload animation. Every time you reload, it shows the gun on the side of the screen in 3D and putting the bullets in.
Huh.
It's a real... And for every different gun, it has a different gun come up on the side. So a shotgun, it loads into... it's really kind of neat. I kind of love the style of this.
Mosaic Chronicles Deluxe, Non-Stop Space Probe, Piano Learn and Play, and Tama Cannon.
My jam.
What?
I was making a bad joke about the piano one.
Oh.
I said it was my jam.
That's your jam?
Yeah.
Alright, let's do some news. A lot of games coming out. It's crazy. Speaking of games, Xbox Game Pass, new additions. Sword and Fairy 7 is coming this summer. Xbox Game Pass. Also, Madden 23, SD Gundam Alliance, Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord, City Skylines Remastered, Shadow Warrior 3 Definitive Edition, and Atomic Heart are the drops for the second half of February. There's some games leaving, but I just wanted to bring it up. If you ain't played Infernax yet, y'all need to get on that shit, because it's leaving Game Pass. Activision Blizzard stuff. CMA's report came out, said, quote, a CMA investigation has provisionally concluded that Microsoft's proposed acquisition of Activision, say that 3 times fast, could result in higher prices, fewer choices, or less innovation for UK gamers. Also, apparently Sony is no longer speaking to Microsoft or Activision.
Yeah. If this deal doesn't go through, like even if it doesn't go through, there's going to be some fallout between those companies. Like,
yeah,
I mean,
actually, there won't be because Microsoft won't let Fallout on the competition costs.
Ha ha! Good job.
What's weird is like Sony not talking to Activision is weird because they have a deal for Call of Duty for like 3 more years, right?
Right. Yep.
So that's a weird thing. Maybe you should pick up the phone or something. I don't know. Also, there's a Evil Within 3 Easter egg in Hi-Fi Rush. So.
Yeah, I didn't realize. So when I played that game, I ran across those 2 robots, which are supposed to be like the main characters, I guess, in Evil Within.
Yes.
And I didn't realize that. Like I saw them, like, and I liked their interaction. I clipped it and was like, man, I want a game with those 2, not knowing that there is a game with those 2. So yeah. So I'm gonna play the Evil Within 2. Oh,
it's a good game. So since Jeff Grubb finally got Metroid Prime Remaster right, he says in one of his latest podcasts, there's a very small, low-key state of play happening within the next 4 weeks. Sony is saving some announcements for their Big Boy Showcase, which will happen before E3, but this one will be a smaller one. He said Sony's had a lot of announcements they've been sitting on for obvious reasons. But they're finally going to have to get them out because, video games got to come out. So.
I think that's what Microsoft is waiting on. They're hoping this stuff draws out. They're trying to buy enough time for Sony to have to unleash their... And they're going to be like, see? Look! All
right, the Nintendo Direct was big. 40 minutes. Let's let's run down through some. So Pikmin 4, July 21st. Xenoblade 3 DLC, which we already talked about. Samba de Amigo is returning, coming to the Nintendo Switch, called Party Central.
That's a cool one.
What's that?
I just said that's a cool one.
Yeah, I always wondered why that never came back. Fashion Dreamer, which is exactly what it sounds like. You do fashion. I really want to play the Dead Cells Return to Castlevania DLC. It's out on March 3rd. I hope it's good. Tron Identity, April 2023. Ghost Trick returns.
Yes.
Summer. Also coming to PlayStation, Xbox, and PC, as well as Switch. Deca Police is out in 2023, also on PlayStation.
That looked cool too.
That was the chibi,
Yeah,
okay.
Detective one, but then you have battles too. Like it had a combat system. That actually looked interesting. I'm gonna look at that one.
Cool.
Man, as much as I like Tron, a visual novel, and the Tron universe doesn't do anything for me.
That's not why people go to Tron, right? It's not the story, right?
Oh wait, is that what that is? Because
yeah.
I didn't see that one. Okay, I was hoping it was a new Tron game where I'm fighting. I didn't know it was a dang.
What if it's Tron from the Chappelle Show? I bought this baby straight cash, yo. Bayonetta Origins, Cereza, and the Lost Demon is March 17th. I could not care less about this game.
Oh shit! Deca Police is made by Level 5, which has my interest already.
Yep.
There were 3 Level 5 games in the Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, the new Layton.
You just ruined a bullet point.
Oh, fuck you.
Ruined.
I'm just trying to figure out what the third one was.
Splatoon 3 expansion pass Inkopolis coming this spring, and then Side Order is in the future. Disney Illusion Island is out on July 28th. Fire Emblem Engage expansion pass Wave 2. Harmony: The Fall of Reverie is due out in June, also on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. Octopath Traveler 2 is February 24th. This game has got to be the weirdest shit ever, right? The first game was on Xbox, Switch, and PC. The second game...
but it was Switch...
Well, it was Switch exclusive
Switch only
for a while.
in the beginning.
But the sequel is only on PlayStation and PC and Switch.
Oh.
So
Man.
Square doesn't make any fucking sense. I don't know what to tell you.
If you have a PlayStation, you can't play the whole series, or if you have an Xbox, you can't play the whole series.
That's so weird. What?
I don't know.
I don't understand these deals.
We Love Katamari Reroll plus Royal Reverie.
Yeah.
June 2nd for everything.
So Katamari, We Love Katamari is the best Katamari game. Hands down. So I'm excited because I didn't know if the first one did well enough to get We Love Katamari Reroll made. But it's so much better than the first game. There's different missions in it. I'm very excited.
Sea of Stars gets an August 29th release date. It's coming to PlayStation and PC as well as Nintendo Switch. The demo is out now. Also, the developers being really cagey on Twitter about an Xbox version.
For Sea of Stars?
Yeah, they won't say it's not coming, but they won't say it is coming.
I wonder if that's to keep their mouth shut about Game Pass or something.
I don't know, but it's weird. There's a lot of weird shit with Xbox going on Twitter. I won't divulge some conversations I've had with PR people about why games don't come to Xbox, because that's confidential. Omega Strikers 2023. I don't remember this one.
It's a free to play.
Oh, that's right.
Battling game. It's on PC already. Yeah.
All right. So that's the one. Okay. Etrian Odyssey Origins Collection, June 1st, also on PC.
That's neat.
They finally brought back Advanced Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp, but it's not out till April 21st, which is weird. That's 2.5 months away.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they went and did something to it while they had time.
I mean, it's been a year since they delayed it. It was supposed to be out last year. It's weird. Kirby Return to Dreamland Deluxe is out February 24th. They also showed off the prologue for that, which did not look interesting to me, but I think the game will be. As we mentioned, Game Boy comes to NSO, Game Boy Advance comes to NSO Expansion Pass. It's out now. Metroid Prime Remastered, out now. Master Detective Archive Raincode, out June 30th, also on PC. This was a weird pull. Bite Kados 1 and 2 HD Remaster out summer 2023. Fantasy.
I never played those.
I mean, they're, that GameCube era JRPG, that's what they were. I mean.
Gotcha.
Fantasy Life, The Girl Who Steals Time, is out summer 2023. Professor Layton in the World of Steam, it's in development. They didn't put a release date on that. That's probably a ways out. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Wave 4 will feature a new character, Birdo, and a new brand new track, Yoshi's Island, which has not been in any previous games. I'm super excited for that. Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, confirmed release date May 12th. That trailer was weird. I'm sure this game will be good, but that trailer did not blow me out of the water.
I'm sorry. What trailer were you talking about there?
Tears of the Kingdom.
No. Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to say this pejoratively because I know a lot of people love this game, but if you were alive back when Majora's Mask came out, a lot of people weren't real happy with that game.
And a lot of people didn't like that because, well, so I think part of it was, sorry, I'm a little off. I just got some news about a family member passing away.
Oh, sorry.
God,
no, yeah. So I'm just trying to get back into the flow of things. Sorry, that was like a really weird trauma dump there. Sorry about that. What I remember is that people were upset more about the time thing than
it being the 3 days or whatever.
Basically,
not even about reused assets.
A roguelike.
Actually.
I mean,
was.
I remember a lot of people getting upset about the set than
I think for me it was
reusing assets.
It wasn't the same structure, and I think we all wanted just more Ocarina at the time, and that wasn't it.
And then the next game that came out was not artistically like Ocarina, so a bunch of people were upset.
Yeah, Zelda's had a weird history. I don't know where Tears of the Kingdom will fall. Breath of the Wild is probably up there, like my top 3 Zelda games of all time. But I'll be interested where Tears of the Kingdom falls, because I'm not hyped for it. I'm hyped for it, but I'm not.
I've seen a lot of people get upset saying like, "Oh, this isn't as it doesn't look as good as there's not enough change." I guess is what people are saying, and I'm like, I don't know about that until first of all, I will take that same map any day if they put in new shrines.
Mm-hmm.
I will take that map if they're adding another world above it or real dungeon. There's a lot you can do in the time frame between that. If it saved you dev time to put efforts into other things, I'm down for it. Already we're seeing new mechanics, so I don't know. It was a little weird for me to see people so down on it from the trailer. I don't know. I'm not turned away by it at all. I was expecting, when they first showed it, they showed the world. So I don't know what people were expecting. You know what I mean? They showed that it was going to be the same map to some extent.
No, and I'm okay with that. I just don't know that I'm as excited for it as I think I'm
not.
Be.
But I didn't like the first one.
I am.
But that's just me.
I'm sure it'll be amazing.
I tried to extend my game time with that, I think, by trying to upgrade all the armor to the highest level. Which is hard because eventually you need a lot of falling stars.
Yeah.
I broke the Master Sword. No,
you didn't.
You had to wait for it to recharge. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but no, I get it.
Yeah, it's because they don't want you to...
The weapon breaking system just...
It doesn't break, it runs out of charge.
Yeah, I know, but the other weapons do break. That whole thing frustrated me to no end. I did not like that.
I definitely understand, but I've always felt real satisfied when a weapon was about to break and I would throw it and kill an enemy with it.
Okay,
and it's
he was
like
on some
glass
gangster
shattering.
Link stuff. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Well,
Throw your
that's a mechanic. It actually tells you like if you throw the weapon right about as it's red and flashing, it does more damage.
Yep.
Like
Oh,
there's
then
a
I definitely
lot to
wasn't
that
using it
game
right.
mechanically. Like throwing a sword that's metal while there's thunder out is like a brilliant move because if you hit the enemy like with it, the lightning striking at the same time, like if you can time that right, it is a lot of fucking damage. Like there's a lot to that game that like, yeah, the weapons breaking sucked. I wish there was like a constant, like if you bought an iron sword that you got to keep it and then you just have to resharpen it or whatever. Like that would, as much as I don't like that aspect of Monster Hunter, like at least that would have been, or a repair item even on swords, right? So, because that's how Dark Cloud did it.
I will say that I did not like the DLC for that game.
I didn't know it had DLC. Oh wait, yeah, you had a
hard mode.
motorcycle or something.
Yeah,
but you had to do like extra hard modes.
It was basically like Souls, Zelda Souls. It was super hard.
The best,
Okay.
one of the best is when the experience. That's a weird game because the experience happened different for everybody else. But the first time you wake up on Eventide Island without weapons and you have to survive the island with nothing. Oh, that's a bitch.
Yep. All right. Moving into not console specific news. Overwatch 3's season roadmap. They'll have a limited time dating sim called Loverwatch, playable from February 13th to the 28th, and a collab with One Punch Man, which was getting a Doomfist and I guess a Soldier Moomin skin. So there you go.
Nice.
Nina Williams was announced as a fighter for Tekken 8.
Is that a surprise?
No,
I was gonna say like no one's surprised
Nah.
that Nina's there. Like what?
Apparently there was a rating for Sonic Origins Plus in Korea.
In Korea.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
I'm wondering if it's just a physical version that has all the DLC.
Yeah. Assassin's Creed Valhalla won Grammy for
I want
Best
you to know
Soundtrack.
that Loverwatch is not in canon. I really like that need to be said.
They're gonna have a Hanzo Cupid skin.
It is great. If the player unlocks a secret ending, they'll be rewarded with a themed play of the game highlight. Yeah, that's the one where Hanzo winks the camera and like blows a kiss or whatever.
Face? Yeah, he does the kissy face.
I think so.
I'd totally be down for that.
Yeah.
Chain's Awesome Games, the dev behind Night Squad and Aftercharge, will close its doors.
I don't know either of those games.
I don't either. I think Night Squad was in Games with Gold.
Night Squad?
Wasn't Night Squad like a 4-player battle game or something back when?
Night Squad.
Oh yeah, it was. It was giving them away for free too.
Give me a second here. What was the developer's name?
Chainsawsome, like chainsaw with awesome. Get it? Chainsawsome.
There was a Night Squad 2?
No. Night Squad and Aftercharge were the two games.
Oh.
Yeah. No, there was a Night Squad too.
Oh, was there? Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah, there's
on
Night Squad was
PlayStation.
2015 and PC.
Oh.
Beat Blasters 3 was another game that they did.
Huh. Yeah, I think because they gave Night Squad away as a Games for Gold, I think, because I've played this.
Night Squad looks like tanks mixed with Bomberman. The old tanks top-down game.
Makes sense.
Yeah, they're from
Quebec.
It is kind of like that. It wasn't horrible. Like, I mean, it was, playing co-op.
Yeah, but you never would have
just
played
trying
it if you didn't get it for free. So.
No, I would not have. No.
Nacon has announced their next Connect for March 9th, which will have new info for RoboCop, Golem, and Raven's Watch.
I just want the RoboCop information.
I hope that game is good, because that Terminator game was good, but I'm still pissed at that dev, because they never put the enhanced version on Xbox.
Yep, I haven't played it because I keep holding out hope that they'll bring it to Xbox. Like I want to play that because I like Terminator, but I don't think it'll ever
You're
come.
the guy that's like me that still thinks that Bandai Namco is going to make a upgrade to Tekken 7 to make it look better. Have you ever played Tekken 7 on Xbox?
Yes, it is fugly.
Oh my god, dude, it
God.
looks so bad.
It's so bad. Like I don't understand why they didn't like patch that like they did for the play. Like it. Yeah, it's bad. It's so bad on the Xbox.
I think we're both going to get our wishes at the same time, which is never.
Yeah.
Resident Evil has got a new CGI movie called Resident Evil Dead Island, which is a hilarious name.
Mm-hmm. And they got Jill, because finally, she has not been in these animated ones. Like, they finally remembered that she's a character.
Well, she left in the games, too. Like, after 3, she wouldn't come back until 5.
Actually, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, they did 2 games without her. They did 4 and Code Veronica, and they were like, nah, she not. And then they did 0 in that time frame, too. It's just like, yep. No Jill. Ryota Aomi, producer for Dragon Quest, has left Square Enix. So, and Valve announced a full-on update-sized update for Team Fortress 2 coming this summer. That's weird.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'll be interested to see how they're trying to make it Overwatch. Sorry, what was the last? I have a feeling. What was the previous news thing that you said there? Something popped in my mind.
Ryota Aomi, producer for Dragon Quest, left Square Enix.
Oh, okay. So another thing, I was kind of hoping Ryan would be here, but that I forgot to bring up during the J.K. Rowling thing. The composer of Dragon Quest was a guy who had some real shitty thoughts. And it again, like, thought that like Japan did no wrong during World War II to the Chinese people. Thought that was all just propaganda. And so, again, we all have to deal with, shitty people making things we like.
Yeah,
I'm a big
absolutely.
Dragon Quest fan. So I want to make it clear that like I am, I guess, guilty of that too. But we all, you have to be pick and choosy, I suppose.
Unfortunately, that's the way the world works. People Can Fly.
Capitalism.
Exactly, capitalism rules all. People Can Fly have announced they have 7 games in development, but they're moving to self-publishing to gain higher revenue. The games in production are Green Hell VR, which is a port, Project Thunder, which is VR 2023, Projects Dagger, Victoria, and Bifrost, all self-published 2025 to 2026, Project Gemini for Square Enix in 2026, and Project Red in the concept phase. I didn't know People Can Fly would make that many video games.
Yeah, People Can Fly didn't make the original Green Hell, so that's a little weird. Okay, I would like a video game from them at this point, because I feel like I haven't seen much from them in years.
Well, since
that is of value.
What was that? Outriders. That was the game, right?
Yeah, I said of value.
That was a video game. Remember that game?
It wasn't terrible.
It wasn't terrible, but
God, this is
so forgettable, dude.
So
yeah, it is forgettable. Yeah.
Here's their games developed. The original Painkiller.
Great game.
They developed the port of Gears of War for Windows.
Yep.
They did Duty Calls, The Calm Before the Storm, which is the Bulletstorm adver game for PC. And then they made Bulletstorm, good game, which was co-developed with Epic. They did Gears of War Judgment, which was co-developed with Epic. Then they worked on Fortnite Save the World, the original version of Fortnite.
Yeah, Fortnite.
Co-developed with Epic. Fortnite Before the Storm.
Yeah.
And then, they did Outriders. And it's like, man, you got some real good pedigree in this list. And it's a shame that, like, you haven't really done much since. People just want more stupid from you. You know?
The stupid is their best games. Remedy did their earnings. Alan Wake 2 is playable from start to finish. Alan Wake Remastered has not generated any royalties. Control 2 is now in proof of concept stage. Codename Condor, still in proof of concept stage. Codename Vanguard, same. and Max Payne concept stage. So
Whoa, wait. We getting a Max Payne? I didn't know they were doing a new Max Payne.
Remake.
Oh, okay. Well,
Of
I
the
mean, I'm
first
still gonna
game.
play that.
Yep.
But they're gonna change his face. Oh,
all right.
I think they're going to change his face to look more like James McCaffrey, who does the voice.
well, yeah. I mean,
he
'cause
was
it's
the
Sam
voice.
Lake right now.
You ready
He
for?
was the voice of. He was the face of Max in the third game, and it's funny because he could have been the face of him in the second game too, and then they used him in. God damn it.
Control.
He's in
Control. Yeah, he's in Control. He's in Alan Wake. He's in Alan Wake because he's the voice of the previous author. He's in the diving suit.
Are we ready for the news that'll get Anthony all up in arms?
Yep.
I don't know, man. I'm pretty fucked up right now. Let's see.
Earthworm Jim 4 has been canceled. It was announced
because it never existed.
It was announced in 2019 with the Intellivision Amico. It seems like the console is just vaporware, and Intellivision had never had the rights to make a new Earthworm Jim game.
So from the understanding of what happened, loosely from obviously it's from my understanding, it was like to launch the Intellivision Amico. He brought in a whole bunch of people, Shiny, to hang out, and that's when he announced it. They did a live stream together. That's when he announced the Intellivision Amico was a thing, and they all kind of had a chat. Like, wouldn't it be cool if we could make another? Yeah, and that's basically where it ended, except for the one brief animation that somebody made. And the people that own the Interplay license was like, "You don't have rights to any of this. Stop it."
Nice.
And it's funny because not only now is Tommy Tallarico problematic because he's a scam artist, the guy that made Earthworm Jim, Doug 10 Nipples, it's Tenapple, I know, but he is got some very traditional conservative views as well, and
everybody's a piece of shit.
Everybody's a piece of shit. But hold on. They've announced the Earthworm Jim, everything they're doing with Earthworm Jim from nothing to do with him, which makes me very happy.
World is a weird place.
Yeah. Just
right.
that whole television Amico thing, man. I don't know if it was if it weren't for the fact that it started in 2019, if it started during the pandemic, I would have said this was a scam because Tommy couldn't tour with video games live. But it started in 2019, so there's no way of that being a thing. But what happens? What happened? Because the guys that do the Runner games was making a breakout game for it that looked really good. So what happened? Choice provisions. What happened to that game?
Dude, so people have actually played the Amico at these events and stuff. What?
Oh, it's bad.
Yeah, what? Man.
They were it doesn't work. Yeah, the controllers disconnect.
You thought the Polymega was fucked up, but the Amico.
I thought the Polymega. So here's the thing with the Polymega, because that is a good one to bring up. I never thought that the Polymega was a scam. And at first I didn't think the Amico was going to be a scam either. I think they had good intentions at some point, but I don't know when those fell off and just siphoning money out of people became the prime goal. But the Polymega, the issue was they took money, took pre-orders. It was a good idea, but then they were we're switching to software-based emulation rather than hardware-based emulation, which is fine, but again, when you've taken money, that should probably be, I think that happened in that order, that should be, offered a refund if that's not the way you want to emulate. And then they went radio silent. They sent out a bunch of to press, and then they went radio silent, and there's a whole bunch of people that were waiting for their consoles. And they'd be months in between, if not years, in talking, and it's well, you need to be upfront about what's happening. And honestly, once they started being upfront, it was far better for them. Like they were like, oh, okay, look, right now where we're getting our consoles made, there's a civil war. We can't get our consoles out. And so, like, there's nothing we can do right now. But since then, they've gotten their consoles to people. You say you like yours, and I haven't heard any negative.
I mean, it's fine. It's just it's very quiet. Like, I look at their Twitter feed, and they've had one.
They're still
tweet.
quiet.
They've had one tweet in 2023.
Yeah, so like that was the issue that they had previously, where it was like, guys, you can't fucking do that. That's so bad.
Especially when you're charging $400 for this thing.
Right, yeah. It's a lot of money. So
it's very good. It's just very expensive. And the $400 is just for the base, which gives you Saturn and PlayStation. Like, you have to buy the modules for any console-based or any cartridge-based console. So, yeah, it's expensive, and to be this quiet, like, they had a tweet on December 20th and another on January 26th basically saying that big announcement we were going to make has been moved to the end of February. That's literally all.
And that's a bad look.
Yeah.
That's a bad look. And that's been my issue with them. Not it was just they went silent and they were working on a better Saturn emulator, and then if that thing doesn't come out, what happens? So it's just that was my issue with them. Like, once they started and to send out review consoles to people on YouTube and not then get consoles into your consumers' hands for another year and a half plus, bad luck.
Yeah, I honestly, mine's
didn't
been
even
in the
have
box.
it, and
yeah,
but you didn't have yours until like they started hitting people, at least.
Yeah, I didn't get mine till way late. So,
and so but a year and a half in between is just
it's a lot.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Like, that'd be like us getting a review game and then it not coming out for another year, right?
Kind of like Ryan's Rocksmith review, which I still don't have.
Oh. I was saying, like, I can't throw stones. I was thinking more of like that. What was that NBA game that EA sent out and then was like, oh, no,
NBA Live.
We're pulling
NBA Live.
Yeah, where it didn't even make it to stores, allegedly, even though some fell off a truck.
No, there's definitely, it was in stores, because I had friends at GameStop at the time, and there were copies of it that they had to send back. So.
Yeah, no, but I don't think it ever actually really made it to shelves. I think it was pulled before.
Yeah, they got it before it came out, and they sent it back before the release date. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird, man.
It's weird shit like that.
That's all the news I got. I know it's a lot of news. Let me flip over. I do have an email for basically a correction from last week. We talked about, this comes from Kurt. He says, last week we talked about PlayStation Plus for the month of February. It was thought Beyond Light was the latest expansion, but Beyond Light came out 2 years ago, and Witch Queen came out after that. Lightfall is the new expansion.
Oh, yeah, that was me. I said that. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that.
Also,
yeah, I thought that was the new one.
I got a weird, not a correction, because I needed to just explain. You were talking about GoldenEye because Drew was playing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I do listen to the podcast when I'm not on it because those are better podcasts. But yeah, I think, Terrence, you were saying that people were complaining about it not being the right ROM. No. So like myself, the assumption was that when we were getting the GoldenEye on N64 on Switch and then the Xbox version, I think a lot of people were assuming that it was going to be the leaked 4J remake that would have played more like the remake, remaster, whatever you want to call it, of Perfect Dark, which is a far better controlling game, even though if you play the original GoldenEye and the original Dark, they control the same way. So I think a lot of people were hoping that it would be like, okay, well then GoldenEye will play like the new version of Perfect Dark. And it doesn't, because it's not the version that leaked a year ago or 2 years ago now or whatever it was of the Xbox Live version. This is a totally new remake. of the original game that's using the same textures and everything, rather than up-res textures and remade graphics for that canceled Xbox Live version.
Gotcha.
It's confusing.
Okay.
I played that.
That's a lot.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, and that was kind of the reason why I was disappointed with GoldenEye on the Xbox, because I was expecting that version, and I don't blame anybody for it. I think that was just it could have been the assumption because it doesn't have online play. So like, okay, well, I think everybody's willing to sacrifice online play for a better playing version of GoldenEye, which I guess this is that we have, but like the version for Xbox Live would have been far more modern feeling, and it's again, it looks better, so much better. Like the fucking fonts in that GoldenEye on Xbox and Game Pass right now is so rough.
Yeah,
all the textures are like just a fuzzy mess.
I mean, they did what they could with what they had. I'm assuming they were very
Godspeed. Listen,
Yeah.
it works, and I'm not. Listen, I'm not. I feel like I'm being unfair to the people that made this version. I think you did a great job of getting this to work. It's an uphill battle regardless. I just think that because everybody knew that this version existed and was leaked to the public, that the assumption would be that they wouldn't throw away all that work that had already gone into that. But this new team had to come and basically redo a game from scratch or fix it or whatever, however they did it, and make it run widescreen and all this other shit, which I know existed in the original version, blah, 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 blah. But it's not the same as running a high-def version at 60 frames and all this stuff. So it's like, I know they put in a lot of work. It's just, I think everybody was expecting the old work to have carried into this version. And Ken, you played it. What do you think of that version?
That
Other
version,
than, obviously there's...
Yeah, that version is much more polished than what you would want. But playing the Xbox version and then going and playing the Switch version, yeah, I'll take that Xbox version all day.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
And that's the reason why I feel bad for they did a lot. That was just the thing that I wanted to say, was like, just so anybody who's like wondering what Terrence was talking about, that's what it was. It's just and that's floating around out there. If you want to try to emulate an Xbox 360, it's out there. It's a very interesting thing. If you've played if you haven't played the Perfect Dark remaster that was made by 4J for Xbox 360, all their work on N64 games to Xbox 360 is amazing. They did the Banjo-Kazooie games and Perfect Dark, and they're fucking brilliant remasters.
Man,
they fix all these issues.
If you've seen Banjo-Kazooie with the up-res, with the HDR, it looks real good on Xbox.
They brought back Stop and Swap, which is a thing that I didn't think they would be able to work in, but they added that to the game, which was the original concept that they had to abandon because memory on the N64 changed. They made it so that all the music notes don't disappear when you leave a stage, so you don't have to collect them all in one go anymore, because that was how you had to do original. Like, they made so many big changes, and then Perfect Dark is fucking night and day different. So it was just, it was very odd that the GoldenEye didn't have the same touch. But you know what? Like, the team that made this version of GoldenEye, I mean, Godspeed. You fucking took that turd and polished it as much as you could.
Yep. That's all I have. I did ask on Twitter for people's Super Bowl picks, but video game podcasts, football, they don't cross over a lot.
I thought we had way more football fans listening.
I got one
Maybe not
tweet
anymore.
basically saying I'm not a big fan of Mahomes, but cheering for the Chiefs. Shame on you, sir. Shame on you. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Yeah.
I need the Eagles to beat down Mahomes because I'm tired of hearing about his magic.
And what you gonna do if he win?
I'm gonna be mad because I don't like him.
Which you know what? I'm not asking a question.
I'm gonna root for the Eagles.
I don't know enough.
You gotta pick
All right.
one. If you had to pick one, it would be the Chiefs or the Eagles.
The Eagles.
Anthony, you gotta pick one.
Anthony.
I mean, I'm picking the Eagles because the Chiefs. I don't want to be accused of being racist in that sense.
Okay.
Yeah. The Chiefs. It sounds like a bad time, so I'm gonna say
The Eagles.
Eagles.
the Eagles. Yeah.
I need the Eagles to win. I need them to win. It's crazy because like even at work where I work, like everybody does polls on the Super Bowl, but it's never about the game.
Oh wow.
I mean, if you look at the betting lines, they're never about the game either. Like, there's a bet line for the coin toss. There's a bet line for like commercials. There's a bet line for
Are
the
you
halftime
telling me
show.
that gamblers have an addiction to gambling and gambling on? I can't imagine that, Ken.
Absolutely.
You know what? They can do that here too. Like that's legal in Ohio now. Sports betting. I don't know. I'm not a
Hold
gambler.
on.
So
Sports
I don't
betting wasn't legal in fucking Ohio.
No, it was not. It
No,
just became legal
no,
recently.
It just became legal.
Oh my god!
And now there's
that's insane.
commercials all the time.
Dude, if I
for
see
it.
Kevin
Amazing.
Hart talking about Ohio betting one more time, I'm gonna
Yes,
scream.
I'm so sick of that. God,
That dude
They,
is betting all the time. He has got a problem.
They've had that through the Ontario government for years. OLG, sports betting. What is it? I can't remember. Green Line,
nice.
Pro
Yeah.
Line, Pro Line is what it was called.
We get the
And
Flash
that I
trailer
recognize-
today. We get the Flash trailer today.
Oh, cool.
Oh yeah.
That movie
I'm
won't
just
be
here
out.
for Michael Keaton.
I was gonna say
They're gonna
the marquee should just
cancel
say
it again.
starring Michael Keaton. That's what I
Right.
want to see.
And
Like,
wait, but who's playing the Flash?
I don't know. It's Michael Keaton's in it. That's what matters.
Michael Keaton's in it, right? It's Batman.
It's
All
Batman.
right, here. Let's
I don't
do it.
know. The commercials are good. I already saw the Will Ferrell commercial. Like apparently they were running that early. The Netflix electric vehicles commercial where he's like going through the different. He's dressed up as Dustin from Stranger Things, and that's pretty funny.
Nice. I have to look it up. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I will definitely be
This is our-
interesting the commercials.
God damn.
The longest
trying to
football
find
game of the
out.
year. Like literally, this thing was on when I got up, and it's going to be on until like 11 o'clock tonight. So
Yeah, it's an event, man.
Yeah.
Like
it's good though. It's gonna be fun. See the halftime show, which I will see if I recognize any of these songs because, like I said, I don't think I've ever heard a Rihanna song.
yeah,
I mean,
heard
watch he'll
that
play stuff that hasn't been fucking heard in years.
They
No,
always
actually,
play
because-
big songs at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, she's only allowed, I guess, or she's only doing her like top songs. So like it'll be stuff
Uh-huh.
like it'll be stuff that you've heard in movies, and it'll probably be that song that is nominated that she did for Black Panther or something. She has something that's nominated for an Academy Award. I don't know if it won.
I still
or
haven't
whatever,
watched Black Panther. I still can't find 3 hours of my life to give to that movie.
The new
but-
one?
Well,
Yeah.
I kind of split it because I watched it and then I realized I had a whole nother hour, and so I went to play Overwatch with you. But it's not bad. It actually was good. Like
You're just saying
I
that
get why. No. It was no.
because you're black.
What the fuck?
No, you
listen,
know what?
I gotta.
Like, here's the
I have
thing.
to represent now. First of all, I have to do this.
I-
But no, it really wasn't. It wasn't bad.
I love, like, honestly though, like, I love the fact it bums me out that Chadwick Boseman passed away because, like, nothing made me happier than seeing full-grown adults being excited that they're being represented finally.
No, I
Like,
was
yeah.
I was down for
Fucking
that.
full
but
adults doing like, yeah.
I
mean,
felt
like
I felt bad because like I didn't like the first movie.
the first one was like I've heard that if you watch the first one now, it's better because they like changed some of the animation from the theater.
But that wasn't even my problem with it. My problem with it
Oh.
was that I just wasn't like. There's a couple Marvel movies that I really don't like. Doctor Strange. People like think I'm crazy because I didn't like the first Doctor Strange. I thought it was boring.
It was just okay. Yeah.
And then like Black Panther, I didn't think was great. Like I didn't think that was a good movie. And there's a couple other
It's-
ones that I don't like. Like the new Thor sucks. Like that movie was bad.
Yep.
I don't think anyone liked the new Thor, so
Oh, that was a bad movie. Like, ooh.
I think Black Panther, like, I like it because it's got the original. I haven't watched a new one. I've only watched parts of the original, but like all the character work felt like I was reading a comic. and was like more personal than just here's big bad shit happening, which I guess is kind of what happens when you're talking about an country, right? It's hidden from the world.
Sure.
Yeah.
But like it was just there's more personal stuff going on that isn't shit I've already seen. Fucking Spider-Man's fucking aunt die one more goddamn time, or uncle die one more goddamn time.
Well,
or anybody die in Spider-Man's life one more fucking time. It's like Batman Pearl's hitting the ground. Done with it.
Yeah.
Enough.
Yeah.
I don't.
There's stuff that I want to talk about in Wakanda and all that. I'm sorry, but I don't want to spoil it. But I see, like, I understand why they did the things they did, given that, you know, Chadwick died. I don't understand why they were like, we're not going to recast him, which is funny because if you watch that all the way through, that's kind of retconned, which is interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I understand why they did what they did, but this one is a better movie than the first one. Because you're right, Ken. The first one is not all great. It's not even in my top 5, honestly. I like it because I like the character of Black Panther, but it's not like the best Marvel movie.
I feel like I've got huge Marvel fatigue. Like, there's not a movie coming that I'm excited about in Marvel.
I mean, that's been me for a while.
I'm the same way now. Yeah, because I told y'all, I just realized, you know, a couple days ago that freaking Ant-Man comes out this week. Comes out Friday.
Yeah, I don't.
I used to be on these movies.
Yeah, I don't even care.
Like,
I'm like,
Yeah.
I specifically made it my duty to watch all of Ant-Man and Ant-Man 2, Ant-Man 2, because I watched Ant-Man and was like, I love this. And then I watched 2 and I was like, this was good.
Dude, I don't even remember 2. I know 1 was a good
care.
movie, and 2 was just
1 was good.
I don't even remember what happened.
And, like, I get it. Like, we're not playing with the A-listers anymore and stuff, but, like, I
mean, let's be fair.
Let's be fair. With the A-listers.
I was gonna say they didn't start with the A-listers; they became A-listers.
No, but
true.
Fantastic Four has been so treated like shit that even when they come around, they're not A-listers. But like Eternals, Eternals ain't even fucking close to A. They're not B. They're not C.
Dude, they're not even D. I don't think.
Exactly. So like they're really.
Well, I think with the
there.
Eternals, though, they were trying to recapture the magic of Guardians of the Galaxy, right? Because Guardians of the Galaxy is not, like, I knew of them, but I had never read their comic.
Well, that set of Guardians is totally not even what Guardians originally was.
I've learned this, since I've read the comics since seeing the first movie, but yeah, it's not.
And, like, it's, it's someone that just, like, Spider-Man sells, X-Men sells, neither of those are really part of them.
Yeah.
Significantly. And honestly, I hate their version of Spider-Man. Not because of the actor, although I'm tired of seeing Tom things. Big things anyways. Like, I want him to do weird art stuff, too. But, I didn't like how Spider-Man was attached to Iron Man in that way. Like, again, X-Men hasn't been brought in yet. When they do, I don't know.
I'll be interested to see how they play that out, because that's such a known quantity that.
And then what group of X-Men do you have?
I mean, they've got to have Wolverine.
Are they
Cyclops,
gonna? Yeah, well, but like right now the comics are so fucking.
Yeah, but they don't care about the comics and the.
No,
the
but like they do, because they do want to take parts of that. So do they just start them on their weird commune thing where they're away from people?
I don't know.
Like, I don't know, because I kind of hate Krakoa and all the shit that surrounds it.
Do you know what happens to a toad when it gets struck by lightning?
Oh God.
She's one of the worst parts of those movies. Does she have an accent? Does she not have an accent? Fuck you, is the reason why.
Shit.
That's one thing that we will get, is a Storm that has a decent accent, because she's going to try to sound like the people from Wakanda, and not whatever the fuck Halle Berry was doing.
Yeah.
I don't remember that line is embedded in my brain.
It's so bad. That is the worst. And it was supposed to make her like seem so hard, right? Like that was like her moment, and it's like, ugh, what?
Same thing that happens to everybody else.
So bad.
Oh
man.
Ugh.
She won an Oscar, ladies and gentlemen. Not for
And,
that.
well, I mean, for that, yeah. I mean, the thing that I remember the most from those original X-Men is when Senator Kelly gets turned into like gelatin because they've injected.
Oh yeah,
dude, that gave me fucking nightmares as a kid.
Yeah, that's
fucked up. That's still fucked up.
It's crazy to me that Anthony saw that movie as a kid.
Right?
Hold on, what age would I have been when that was in theaters? Because I saw that movie in theaters. 2000. I would have been fucking 8.
I was graduated from high school when that movie came out.
No, that's because you old.
I mean, I was
workforce.
I was a junior. I wasn't graduated yet, but golly.
Damn it, you fucking youngins around here.
Imagine.
I mean, seriously, I graduated in the 90s.
Oh wow, yeah, I can't say that. I started in the 90s. I started high school in the 90s. In 99.
I graduated in 1998.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a long time ago.
He was 6.
He was 6.
He was in the first grade.
I was hanging out with Anthony, like, hey, what's up, little dude?
What's up, man?
Fucking, yeah. Weird times at Big Brothers Big Sisters.
There's no shit, right?
Do you want to play some Mortal Kombat, kid?
You're going to grow up to do a podcast. What's a podcast?
Don't ask.
Think about that. You didn't know what a podcast was back in 1998.
Podcast didn't exist then.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You didn't know what a podcast was at that time either.
Dude, our first podcast was on internet radio.
Yeah, I know what that is.
Oh, wow. I know what that is, too. Wow.
Yeah. Internet radio back when
I used to listen to that on my PlayStation Portable.
We put out a radio show, and then the rest of the time our radio channel was just like video game music, because back then you could do that and not get in trouble.
Listen to that.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
Listen, it was literally me and Gambus Khan doing like back and forth. We didn't even record at the same time.
What?
You would send the audio file back and forth so he would respond to it?
Yep, exactly the way we did it.
Nice.
Yep. It was weird. Weird times. Anyway, that's all I have for this week. I hope everybody enjoys their Super Bowl, and tomorrow, when this goes live, you'll already know who won. I'll either be happy or sad. One of the two. I will definitely be fat, because I'm going to eat a lot of food today. Because sit around and eat food.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
Super Bowl Sunday. Yeah. I would just go to the parties for the party, not even for the Super Bowl. I'm just going to eat and hang out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You did 2 or 3 pizzas and some chips and some appetizers and all kinds of shit. Just eat it. Just eat everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then just cry when you go to sleep because you can't sleep because you got heartburn now because you're 40.
Yeah. That's what it is.
Oh,
Super Bowl Sunday.
If you want to follow us on Twitter, I'm at ZTGD. Terrence is Lord Magnus. Anthony's not on Twitter. You can follow the site at ZTGD Content. Follow the podcast at ZTGD Podcast. All of it on the Twitter. If you want to send us emails, podcast at ZTGD.com. Phoenix Down, I think, is still going on. They didn't send an episode this week. So, still playing Like a Dragon, I'd assume.
Yeah, I think they are.
But yeah, that's I got. Unless anybody has anything else, we'll get out of here. Peace, bitch.
Alrighty. And it goes something like this.